Chapter 585. Xing Buhua didn't even turn back. He raised his hand above his head and waved. Then, he got into the car and drove away. His brother's woman. That made him feel uncomfortable. He stopped the car by the roadside and pinched his nose. Twins were very strange. They had the same looks, DNA, and even telepathy. His father was worried that someone would hurt them, so he was taken away by Xing Shang the moment he was born. Other than Xing Shang and his father, his mother didn't know about it. As expected, his family was wiped out. His brother survived because he was lucky. He knew about Gu Lingqing's existence a long time ago. He also knew that Gu Lingqing was his twin brother. Because they had the same looks, he was worried that it would cause a commotion and some people would speculate. It was also for his brother's growth that he chose to work in the black operation. Not many people had seen him and he had never returned to China. If he didn't know that something had happened to his brother, he wouldn't have returned to China. When he was investigating his brother's death, he found out that Shen Ao and Xing Dongqing were the murderers. He knew that he shouldn't have, but he liked Baiya the first time he saw her. It wasn't the first time either. She had been appearing in his dreams for 5 years. She would appear a few times a month. His phone rang, interrupting his thoughts. Xing Buhua glanced at the caller ID and answered the call with a heavy heart. Did you find anything? Not yet. Hua Xixing is very cautious. She chased me and her sister away. Also, the security is very tight. I couldn't get any information, Momo reported. You've done a good job this time. I will reward you. It's all because of your good leadership and the perfect plan. I don't dare to take credit, Momo said humbly. You deserve it. Since we can't find out where Nangong Yu is locked up, let's get her brother here. It'll be good for Shiniyan to get busy, Xing Buhua ordered. Why don't we just expose the relationship between Shiniyan and Lu Shuang? In that case, Shiniyan will suffer a great blow, suggested Momo. Xing Buhua lowered his eyes and the image of Baiya flashed across his mind. She asked him to protect Lu Shuang. He knew that Lu Shuang was very important to her. Since he had agreed, he didn't want Lu Shuang to die with Shiniyan. He was afraid that Baiya wouldn't forgive him if she found out the truth one day. Do you have direct evidence to prove that they are related? Xing Buhua asked coldly. Nope. But Hua Xixing admitted it. Hua Xixing is unusually calm and rational. Besides, she knows the big picture. She's definitely not what you see. When Shiniyan is pushed to the forefront because of Lu Shuang, she will definitely side with Shiniyan. Moreover, Shiniyan can become the president because he controls the media. Most of them don't have concrete evidence, so it's hard for them to make an impact on him, Xing Buhua analyzed. I get it. I'll use our diplomatic skills to get Nangong Yu's brother to visit, Momo reported. Okay. Xing Buhua hung up the phone and looked at the rearview mirror. A light flashed across his eyes and he sped up. A car behind him sped up as well. He sped up and drove up the mountain. The car also drove up the mountain. When they reached the top, Xing Buhua stopped the car. The car followed closely behind. Xing Buhua leaned against the car door and lit a cigarette. The smoke lingered in the air. Chiao Ting got out of the car and ran to Xing Buhua. Xing Buhua, where are you going? Xing Buhua blew a puff of smoke at her and looked at her lazily. He said indifferently, does it have anything to do with you? You're going to see Baiya, right? Chiao Ting said hatefully. Her eyes were filled with jealousy, hatred, and hostility. Xing Buhua frowned and put his hand on the car. He became more arrogant. I'm going to see Huarue. I heard that she's trying her best to see me. She's a famous beauty in country M. I'm going to meet her. Why? you're going to marry Huarui. Chiu Ting was not calm anymore. In terms of looks, it's not a bad idea to marry her. As for the rest, I have to look at other aspects. After all, I have many choices now. Today, my father is going to introduce me to the daughter of the Xiong family. I can give it a try, Xing Buhua said. How did you become like this? Shameless. Chiu Ting said angrily. Her eyes were red. Chiu Ting, I hope you understand that I'm going to be the president in the future. My wife will be chosen by a famous family. I'm still thinking about which family, but this won't change. It's impossible between you and me, Xing Buhua said straightforwardly. You promised my father that you'd take good care of me. Chiu Ting sobbed. So I'll take good care of you like a sister. Chiu Ting, we grew up together. Don't fall in love with me. I'm not a good person. You know that, Xing Buhua said firmly. He twisted out the cigarette and opened the door. Chiu Ting pressed on the door of his car and asked, You like that Baya, don't you? That day when I came to see you, you were still sleeping. I heard you calling her name in your dreams. I've already told you about me and her. She's my brother's wife. I need to make use of her now. So I pretended to be her husband and played with her, Xing Buhua said. But you called her name. You can't lie. I thought about it, and I think you're lying to me, Chiu Ting said firmly. Call her name. Xing Buhua shrugged. She suspected me for a few days. I guess I was thinking about how to make her believe me even in my dreams. To be honest, you're the first and only person I can be honest with. Have you ever loved me? Chiu Ting begged. I haven't. Look at all the women around me. Which one of them isn't a hot beauty? You are my sister. I really have to go now. Otherwise, I won't be able to make it in time to save the damsel in distress. You can go back if you want. If you don't want to go back, I'll ask someone to give you money. You can live a casual life. Xing Buhua moved her hand away and got into the car. Chiu Ting stood there in a daze. She watched Xing Buhua leave, clenching her fists tightly. What should she do? She liked his unruly style. Xing Buhua got into the car. He glanced at the GPS and made a call. Lock on to Huarui's address. Calculate how long it will take me to get there. Yes, arrange a hero to save the damsel in distress. That's all. He hung up the phone and looked at Chiu Ting in the rearview mirror. He knew Chiu Ting too well. She wouldn't give up. He didn't want her to cause trouble for Baya. So, he could only shift the blame. Perhaps, by letting Chiu Ting create trouble, he could stop his father from marrying Huarui or the daughter of the Xiong family. With Baya, he didn't want to experience any other woman. Now, all he wanted to do was to get rid of the conflict and accompany Baya. Even if it was just boring marking papers with her, he felt very at ease, as if he was in a peaceful country, full of happiness. Hello, I'm Qin Tang Tang. You can follow me on WeChat. Chapter 586. At the entrance of Shuiyu International. Huarui and Momo came out. A motorcycle passed by them and the person on the back seat snatched the gift bag from Momo's hand. Momo was shocked and quickly shouted, Someone, they're robbers. Stop the motorcycle in front. A modified Mercedes-Benz motorcycle stopped in front of Momo and said to Huarui, Get on. Miss, don't. Momo held Huarui's hand and said cautiously. Xing Buhua curled his lips. Follow me then. With a pi sound, he sped forward and soon overtook the motorcycle in front of him. He stopped 10 meters away from them. He ran straight towards the motorcycle. With a leap and a kick, the motorcyclist fell to the ground. The person behind was agile and luckily did not fall. Xing Buhua walked towards him. The man took out a knife and aimed it at Xing Buhua. Xing Buhua used his grappling hands and easily grabbed the man's wrist. There was the sound of bones cracking and the knife fell to the ground. Xing Buhua pressed his body down and the man knelt on the ground with his hands behind his back. The motorcyclist realized that they could not beat Xing Buhua and threw the gift bag in the middle of the road. Many cars drove over. If he did not pick it up, the car would have run over the gift bag and it would be hard to say whether the things inside would be intact. Xing Buhua gave the person who threw the gift bag a thumbs up. He jumped over the fence and spent more than 10 seconds to pick up all the gift bags. The robber had already driven away on the motorcycle. Xing Buhua walked back slowly. Hua Rui and Mo caught up. He threw the gift bag in his hand to Mo and walked towards his motorcycle without saying a word. "What's your name?" Hua Rui asked. Xing Buhua looked at Hua Rui. "If you want to treat me to a meal or repay me, forget it. I don't have time and I don't need it." He continued to walk towards his car. His arrogance caught Hua Rui's attention. She ran over and extended her hand to block the path of Xing Buhua's motorcycle. "What if I say that I want to check if all my things are here?" "What?" Xing Buhua frowned. "Your appearance was a bit of a coincidence. Just now, you were suspected of deliberately letting the flying car robbers go. I have reason to suspect that you're in cahoots with them," Hua Rui said confidently. Xing Buhua nodded his head and didn't hide his disgust. "Is there a hole in your brain? If I didn't chase after him, the speeding criminal would have run away. Are you crazy to doubt me?" "Who says?" "I have to check if it's missing," Hua Rui said with a blush. Xing Buhua took off his helmet and hung it on the motorcycle. He crossed his arms and looked at Hua Rui coldly. "Go ahead and check. Hurry up, I still have something to do." When Hua Rui saw Xing Buhua's face, she was stunned. Her eyes were filled with ecstasy and shyness, and her heart was trembling. There was a kind of joy that settled in her dreamy feelings. Although she had never seen Xing Buhua in person, she had seen photos of Xing Buhua. His chiseled face was resolute and cold. He was extraordinarily handsome and left a deep impression on people. She was actually looking forward to meeting him. "I know you," Hua Rui blurted out. "Really? Then go ahead and check. After that, remember not to look for me. I don't want to be a farmer." He got on the motorcycle. "Don't you know me?" Hua Rui asked anxiously. "Do I need to know you?" Xing Buhua put on his helmet and started the motorcycle. "I'm Hua Rui, the one that you didn't show up for. I came to A because of you, but you didn't show up. Can you give me an explanation?" Hua Rui asked, feeling wronged. She was indeed the most famous socialite in M Nation. When she felt wronged, her eyes would be big and red. Coupled with her exquisite face, she was indeed quite pitiful. "I'm busy. Does this answer sound better?" Xing Buhua said lazily. "Can't you spare an hour? You can let me go to your office." Hua Rui was a little angry. She pouted her lips and looked very shy. Xing Buhua didn't even look at her. In fact, if the male lead doesn't show up at an ordinary blind date, it means that he doesn't want to go on a blind date. "I'm not planning to get married yet. I'm sorry that you came here for nothing. If you want to ask me for reimbursement of the round-trip air ticket, you can look for my assistant." Xing Buhua drove the motorcycle and left decisively. He glanced at the rear mirror and saw that Chiu Ting was indeed there. That was good. It saved him the trouble of having someone to settle it for him. He couldn't wait to see Baiya. When he thought of Baiya, his heart was filled with tenderness. He smiled and sped up. When he arrived at Baiya's place, Baiya was still reading the test papers. She hadn't finished the previous ones and another batch of test papers had been sent to her. She might be a little tired, but she wore her glasses and looked very bookish. He thought of a word, a top student. The woman he liked was a top student. His heart softened. He went forward and hugged Baya from behind. Baya smiled and held his arm. She looked at him and said, "Why are you here so early? Have you had dinner? I missed you." "I haven't eaten yet." "I want to eat with you," Xing Buhua said softly. He put away his laziness and arrogance. When he was with Baya, he tried to get closer to Gu Lingqing and be the man she would fall in love with. The world was strange. He had rejected many women who were willing to change for him, but he loved the women who could change for him. "I'll ask Shulan to prepare dinner." "There's no hurry. There are too many test papers." "How long will it take for you to finish grading them? Should I get someone to help you?" Xing Buhua asked as he sat opposite Baya. "No, it's too risky for you and me to find someone. I'll ask Shulan to help me. I can trust her. It's going to be the new year soon, and I have a lot of work to prepare. It just so happens that I have time now. It's relaxing to mark the papers," Baya said, bowing her head and continuing to mark. She lowered her head and continued to grade the test papers. "The article you posted today is very embellishing," Xing Buhua complimented. "One case alone won't cause a sensation. The internet is more developed now. Some of the past cases just need to be sorted out and published together. It will be very shocking. What destroys a person, a business, an official or a family is not the case itself, but the public opinion." Baya said softly. Xing Buhua looked at Baya with a smile. He felt happy just listening to her voice. Chapter 587. "Yes," Baya answered. "By the way, the position of the head of the finance department is vacant now. Many people are eyeing this position. It won't take too long. At most, it will be delayed until the beginning of next year. What do you think?" Xing Buhua continued to ask. Baya stopped and her expression became serious. She looked at Xing Buhua and said, "This position may be through election because there are too many people who are eyeing it. Our people may not be able to get it. I also want to discuss this matter with you. I want to create a big event," but Baya wanted to say something but stopped on second thought. "But what?" Xing Buhua asked. "Although the incident with Alan successfully pulled Xing Dongqing down, I'm also worried about the reputation of Country A in the international arena if there is another big event. If it causes the currency of Country A to depreciate, it will be an act of harming others without benefiting oneself." "I can't do it," Baya said thoughtfully. Xing Buhua showed a doting smile. Baya was not only beautiful, but also gentle, affectionate, smart and far-sighted. She was also very kind. Her kindness was hidden under her strong appearance. It was just revealed inadvertently, but it had already made him unable to control his heart. She could care about the world. Gu Lingqing was really lucky to have met her at such a young age. It's simple. Country Y is a friendly country of Country A. It has always been Country A that has been supporting the economic development of Country Y. In addition to the national debt, they have also sent a lot of talents to the country in construction, electricity, chemistry, science, medicine, education, and even roads. It's not wrong to say that they are a dependent country of Country A. "It's a problem," Xing Buhua said. "I seem to have heard about this." She didn't care about this before, but now, she had to care about it. Country Y has a multi-party system, and the struggle for power has always been very intense. If there is a civil war at this time, it will definitely destroy a lot of infrastructure. In addition to deciding which side to stand on, Country A also needs to invest a lot of money. When it comes to money, then the business tycoons of country A will have the right to speak. When it comes to money, Xing Dongqing and Shiniyan have money. In order to clear his name, Xing Dongqing will definitely fork out a lot of money. Bai Ye guessed. Xing Dongqing's money is in the open. After all, his family has so many businesses. Gu's money is also in the open. Shiniyan's money is in the dark. He can't take it out in the open. No matter how much money Xing Dongqing took out, it would only be a whitewash. It was impossible for him to restore his position as the finance minister within a year. Then, the one who has the right to speak is you, Xing Buhua suggested. In this way, not only can my people be the finance minister, but they can also establish the international reputation of a country. It's a pity for the people of Y country. Bai Ye lowered her eyes. She recalled what Grandmaster Gufa had said. If she wanted to be the best of the best, she would have to step over countless corpses, full of blood. She didn't want to. She was a human, and so were those people. She didn't feel superior, so she felt a little burdened. People shouldn't think too much. If they understood human nature too well, they would feel sad. When my people go to coordinate, I will tell them not to bring harm to the people. Xing Buhua promised. Without a fixed residence, how can they not be affected by the smoke of war? It's hard to control the development of the situation. Moreover, a country can't participate in the civil war. Look at the war in X country. It's been 5 or 6 years, and it's still not over. Bai Ye leaned on the table. Don't worry. I promise that this war will only last for a few months. I have a way. Trust me, Xing Buhua said softly. He always said that he trusted her. The only thing she could do was to trust him. Ling Qing, I'm a little tired. I want to rest for a while, Bai Ye said softly. Xing Buhua walked over, carried her up, and put her on the bed. When I leave tomorrow morning, I'll bring a box of papers with me. I can help you mark them during the day. Bai Ye was still hugging his back. You have your own things to do during the day. I'll be fine here. I'll mark them slowly. With something to do, I won't miss you so much. Xing Buhua raised the corner of his mouth, revealing a bright smile. You miss me. Where? Bai Ye blushed. The last time she promised to help him, he rejected her in the end and went to the washroom to do it. They really hadn't been in contact for a long time. I'll be 3 months soon, Bai Ye said implicitly. Xing Buhua looked at her deeply. There's no hurry. You sleep first. I'll mark the papers. When you wake up, let's eat together. Bai Ye leaned against the pillow and looked at him. Tomorrow is Monday. If you're not busy, come over for dinner. I'll make you your favorite, braised pork with preserved vegetables. Okay. Xing Buhua returned to the chair and continued to mark her papers. Bai Ye looked at him. She was very tired, but she couldn't bear to close her eyes. She hoped that nothing would happen between them. She hoped that they could get their revenge smoothly and leave safely. In the future, their whole family would be happy together. She missed Yen. Sleep, I'm not leaving. We can see each other every day, Xing Buhua said softly. Bai Ye slowly closed her eyes and breathed evenly. Xing Buhua turned off the music and came over to cover her with the quilt. He continued to mark the papers. That night, she had a dream. She dreamt of Gu Lingqing. He was trapped on an isolated island that was only a square meter in size. There were no trees around him and he was surrounded by the sea. He looked at her deeply and had many things to say to her. But she couldn't hear him. Looking at him all alone, her heart suddenly ached. A heavy sadness rushed out from her heart like a tide. Suddenly, Lu Shuang stood behind her. Baiya had a bad feeling in her heart. She shouted, "No, Lu Shuang, don't." Lu Shuang pushed Gu Lingqing off the island and looked at her with a despairing smile. She felt helpless and knelt on the ground. "Lu Shuang, don't. Lu Shuang didn't listen to her. He jumped off the island and into the sea. She was the only one left on the island. She was all alone. She was so sad that she jumped into the sea without thinking. But her heart still ached and she had difficulty breathing. She opened her eyes. The pillow was already wet. What she saw was Xing Buhua's worried face. "What's wrong, Xiaoya? Did you have a nightmare?" Baiya hugged Xing Buhua and said in a choked voice, "I dreamed that you died." "Lu Shuang died too. I saw you die. I was so lonely, so I jumped into the sea and died with you." A strange look flashed through Xing Buhua's eyes. He comforted her. "I won't die. If I die, I will die after you. I won't let you live alone. Dreams are the opposite. Look at your silly face." Yes, dreams were the opposite. He was still alive. Lu Shuang was still alive. But just thinking about it made her feel sad. Chapter 588. He kissed away the tears at the corner of her eyes. It was salty. Baiya calmed herself down and asked, "What time is it?" Xing Buhua bent his wrist and looked at his watch. "It's 8:10 p.m. Are you hungry?" Baiya nodded. "I'll ask Shulan to bring you food. Do you want to hide?" "All right." Baiya called Lin Shulan. "Madam, are you hungry?" "I'll go and prepare the food now," Lin Shulan said. A little more." When Baiya said a little more, Lin Shulan understood immediately. He smiled and prepared enough food. He went to the library and knocked on the door. Baiya opened the door. "Madam, I've brought the food to you. I'll bring the test papers over later. I've already graded them according to your instructions. I'll bring some more later. I'll be able to bring a few thousand more copies out tonight." "Thank you. Also, the report on the Education Bureau has been very well received. They haven't responded yet. What should we do next?" Lin Shulan asked. "Continue to publish the report. We've sent people to the school to collect evidence. Send it to my email after you've sorted it out. I'll contact Du Xinbo directly." Got it. Lin Shulan said happily. Working with Baiya, there were good results every day. She was more motivated. She took a box of test papers upstairs and closed the door of the library when she left. Xing Buhua came out from the shadows and reminded her. "You're targeting the entire Education Bureau. I'm worried that it will collapse. This is not a good sign." Baiya paused for a moment and came to a sudden realization. "I was thinking of blowing things up and making the education minister take the blame and resign. Now that you mentioned it, it reminded me. Actually, it's enough now. Next, we're not targeting the cases of the various schools. We're targeting the education minister himself. For example, do you have any problems with his style and have he done anything against the law?" Baiya understood. "Yes, let's do it this way. I'll get an ink to do it now." Baiya immediately called Zhang Xingyu and gave him new instructions. Zhang Xingyu was very motivated to work with Baiya. Moreover, Baiya gave everyone in an ing a salary of 3,000 yuan. They were very motivated. "Yes." Xing Buhua smiled. He knew of Gu Lingqing's ing. They only listened to Gu Lingqing's orders and were directly under Gu Lingqing. They could even ignore the president's orders. But now, they completely obeyed Baiya. In some ways, she was indeed more popular. Lu Shuang woke up early in the morning. He opened his eyes, sat up and looked to his side. Shen Yiyan was no longer there. She remembered that he had the habit of jogging. This habit was the same as Bai Ye. She chose a small suit from the cabinet, tied her hair into a braid, and put on makeup. She darkened her skin, thickened her eyebrows, and made herself look more boorish. Her lips were darker, making her look colder. She even applied shadow powder on her face to make it more three-dimensional. She was going to follow Shen Yiyan from today onwards. She might attend many public events, especially during the military parade. If she dressed up too gorgeously, it would be too eye-catching. It was best to keep a low profile. The uglier she looked, the less likely those fans of Shen Yiyan would attack her. She went out. Shen Yiyan had just finished jogging and came in from outside. When he saw her, he was stunned. "You just climbed out from the coal. Why are you so dark?" Lu Shuang rolled his eyes at him. "It's so early in the morning. Can't you say something nice?" "Mine is called smoky makeup." Shen Yiyan sneered. "I heard that smoky makeup only darkens the eyes. Your whole face is black." He paused. "Don't tell me your whole body is black too." Lu Shuang did not want to talk to Shen Yiyan anymore. He sat at the dining table and supported his chin with both hands. He did not go to take a shower. Instead, he came in front of her and looked at her face. "You have the legendary Guan Gong Mei. You're ugly enough usually. You can barely be seen when you dress up nicely. But now, you're so ugly that it's affecting the appearance of the city." Lu Shuang frowned. "You don't have to look at me if I'm ugly. Your wife at home is very pretty. You can just look at your wife." Shen Yiyan's face turned cold. Her eyes glinted. She turned and walked upstairs. Lu Shuang felt that he should be angry. Why did he look down on her? She was ugly and proud. How could he hit her so early in the morning and affect her mood? She did not care if he was angry. She walked to the kitchen and asked the chef, "Handsome, is there anything to eat? I'm hungry." "Oh, it's ready. I'll bring it out for you now," the chef said respectfully. "Thank you," Lu Shuang said politely. He turned around and sat at the dining table, waiting for the chef to bring his breakfast for the day. A basket of soup dumplings, a cup of soy milk and a poached egg. "Call me if it's not enough," the chef said. "Thank you. It's enough. You're really good." "I like it," Lu Shuang praised. The chef smiled and went to the kitchen to continue working. Lu Shuang was almost done eating when she saw Shen Yiyan and Hua Zixing walking down the stairs. They were whispering something. A talented man and a beautiful woman. What a perfect match. She lowered her head and ate the last steamed bun before walking out of the restaurant. Shen Yiyan's face turned colder. She frowned. "Where are you going?" Lu Shuang looked at her lazily. "I'm going out for a walk. I won't affect your appetite. Call me when you're leaving." She did not wait for Shen Yiyan to speak and left. Shen Yiyan had nowhere to vent his anger, so she sat down on the chair. "What's wrong? Did you two fight?" Hua Zixing asked gently. "I said that her makeup is ugly," Shen Yiyan said. "Girls hate it when people call them ugly. You should apologize to her later." "I don't think she's a petty person. She'll be appeased soon," Hua Zixing said with a smile. Shen Yiyan reflected. He was angry because she always used his wife to stop him. He had said and explained many times that he and Hua Zixing were just in agreement. She even said that it would be better for him to go see his wife. She looked like she didn't care at all. He did not know what he was thinking at that time. He just felt angry. Maybe he felt that she was being unreasonable. But thinking about it, when had she ever been reasonable? I'll go see her first. Shen Yiyan got up and went out without breakfast to look for Lu Shuang. Hua Zique stared at Shen Yiyan's back as a strange emotion flashed through her eyes. She raised the corner of her lips and lowered her head, returning to her usual gentle self. Shen Yiyan found Lu Shuang, who was throwing stones by the lake. Hello, I'm Qin Tang Tang. You can follow me on WeChat. Chapter 589. She grabbed a handful of them and threw them one by one. She liked to hear the thud, as though she was throwing away her anger. Why was she angry? In terms of looks, she was no match for Hua Zixing, but in terms of age, she was a few years older than her. She did not look good with makeup, but Shen Yiyan was just stating the truth. Later, I'll get the makeup artist to teach you how to do makeup, Shen Yiyan said. Lu Shuang looked at her. Why do I need to look good? My future boss will be worried. Shen Yiyan frowned. Are you trying to make me angry? I have nothing to say to you. We are not on the same level, and it's too tiring to communicate. Lu Shuang threw a handful of stones into the river and clapped her hands. Can we go now? Shen Yiyan held her hand and her eyes dimmed. You know I like to joke. Are you angry because I said you are ugly? Lu Shuang smirked. If I get angry over such a small matter, then wouldn't I become a punching bag? Then why are you out alone? Isn't it cold outside? It won't affect your meal. Didn't you say that I was affecting the city? What makeup are you wearing? You really don't look good, Shen Yiyan said and let go of her hand. Lu Shuang chuckled. In the eyes of the president, I am just one of your women who needs to be beautiful every day to please your visual nerves. But to me, I am more like your secretary. You have your own topics to talk about. If I were to put on a pretty face, I would probably be drowned in it. I want to be low-key, and more low-key. The uglier I am, the safer I am. There won't be any reporters following me, and they won't be able to capture anything, Shen Yiyan explained. Aren't we going to parade? Those soldiers aren't human anymore. They don't have saliva. Aren't the people around you human? They don't have saliva anymore. It's tiring talking. Lu Shuang turned around. Shen Yiyan hugged her from behind. Lu Shuang was so nervous that his back was stiff. Brother, are there satellite cameras? Last night, the presidential palace blocked the signal, the satellite can't capture it. Lu Shuang relaxed a little and looked at him. Why are you hugging me? I'm not affecting the city anymore. Didn't you say that I would be worried? Good job, Shen Yiyan said with a smile. This guy's smile was really flirtatious. He could be considered one of the most handsome men in the world. When did I say that you would be worried? Lu Shuang didn't remember saying that. Shen Yiyan's face darkened. My future husband, why don't you have the self-awareness of being my future wife? This. Lu Shuang didn't want to argue with him and changed the topic. Are you ready to go? The procedures for the parade will be issued today, right? Under normal circumstances, my secretary will arrange my necessary itinerary for the next week and flexibly deal with those that are necessary but not urgent. The last one is the emergency itinerary. The parade is considered a necessary but not urgent itinerary. You will know when you go to my office. Then, there are 2 meetings in the morning. You can rest in my office. I'm resting in the office, Shen Yiyan explained. During the parade, can I see the files of all the soldiers? Lu Shuang asked tentatively. If you want to see all the files of the soldiers, I just need to open the database and it will be there. What you want to see should be my formless, right? Shen Yiyan said directly. Lu Shuang knew that he couldn't hide it, so he didn't quibble. He nodded and said, I saw the person who killed my mother. He was wearing the same clothes as the person who tried to assassinate me on the island. Gu Lingqing said that it was formless. Formless belongs to me. Their information is not in the database. I can arrange for you to go and see it. If you see who the murderer is, tell me. I will not tolerate it. Shen Yiyan promised. Lu Shuang had a strange feeling in his heart. He felt a little burdened. If you do this, will people talk about you? I feel like you are a little angry for a beauty. Shen Yiyan smirked. First of all, you can't violate a military order. Doing this behind my back is a capital offense. Shen Yiyan took her hand and walked to the villa. After I have breakfast. Shen Yiyan held her hand and walked towards the villa. After I finish breakfast. Then, Shen Yiyan took her hand and walked to the villa. After I have breakfast. Shen Yiyan just held her hand and led her back to the villa. Lu Shuang felt that he was really childish. He was a little brother after all. She followed Shen Yiyan back to the villa. Hua Zixing had already finished eating. She looked at Lu Shuang and said with a smile, actually, I think this makeup is very special. It's valiant and has a unique style. Yeah, I think so too, Lu Shuang said with a smile. Do me one day too. I think it's quite interesting. Lu Shuang pointed at Shen Yiyan and whispered to Hua Zixing, I will do one for him one day too. Okay. It's quite interesting just thinking about it, Hua Zixing said with a smile. Lu Shuang realized something. Nangong Yu was missing. She used to follow Hua Zixing around. She looked at Shen Yiyan and asked, that Nangong Yu, did you really punish her? How could it be fake? Shen Yiyan looked at her helplessly. She sat down and said in a low voice, eat with me a little more. I'm full, Lu Shuang refused. It's very late for lunch today, Shen Yiyan reminded him. Then I'll eat a little more. Lu Shuang was straightforward. Hua Zixing pursed her lips and laughed. You're really cute. Lu Shuang felt a little uncomfortable being praised like that. She picked up a small steamed bun and took a big bite. The fat fell off. Shen Yiyan immediately took a tissue and wiped the corner of her mouth. You don't need your makeup anymore. Who stole it from you? I developed this habit in Gu Lingqing's military. They demand that we eat in 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, there's nothing left to eat, Lu Shuang complained. Gu Lingqing's military is the most disciplined, prestigious, and has the best results. But why did you go to his military? Wasn't it better to have your father take care of you in the hospital? Shen Yiyan asked casually. Lu Shuang's eyes dimmed. She thought of her father, her mother, and Bai Ya. At that time, we agreed to go to the military with Bai Ya. I went in, but Bai Ya went to America. She shrugged and said indifferently, this is fate. Although I never believed in fate, Bai Ya believed in it. Now, I believe in it too. She had lost her appetite. She rubbed her stomach and put down her chopsticks. I'm so full. I feel like I've gained 2 kilograms in the 2 days I've been here. You look better with more weight. Hey, Shen Yiyan, how much do you dislike my looks? Lu Shuang glanced at him. Other than your looks, your IQ is worrying too, Shen Yiyan said with a smile. Chapter 590. You saved the Milky Way in your past life. Don't thank me, thank the Milky Way. Lu Shuang was speechless. Hua Zixing pursed her lips and laughed. You guys are making me laugh. He. Then what did I do in my past life? You are the Milky Way, Lu Shuang said. He. Hua Zixing laughed so hard that she was about to cry. Shen Yan put down her chopsticks. Alright, get ready to leave in 5 minutes. Put on a down jacket, the weather forecast says it's going to be cold. Can I move my computer? Didn't you say you have 2 meetings in the morning? There are a lot of files in your office, I'm afraid I might accidentally delete them, Lu Shuang said softly. Follow me in the morning, I'll take you to the cabinet, Hua Zixing said softly. The cabinet? I still need to level up, there won't be any bugs tomorrow, Lu Shuang rejected her politely. Hua Zixing looked at Shen Yan. Lu Shuang surprised her once again. Many women wanted to go to the cabinet, which was filled with the wives of the rich and powerful, but Lu Shuang only wanted to play games. How could such a woman become the president's wife? Shen Yan also noticed this and said in a low voice, I can delay the bug for a few more days. Follow Zixing to the cabinet, I'll have to trouble you to take care of her. Don't worry, I'll definitely take good care of her. Hua Zixing smiled. 5 minutes later, the three of them sat in Shen Yan's car, Lu Shuang sat in the front passenger seat, and Colonel Qing drove. Lu Shuang turned to look at Shen Yan, who was pretending to be asleep. I suddenly thought of something, where's the reward you mentioned? The reward for saving the Prime Minister. Shen Yan opened her eyes, a cunning look in them. Didn't I transfer 3 million to your account? Isn't that because I'm good at games? That level. He only knows how to hide. Shen Yan couldn't help but complain. Shen Yan, you're so shameless. Lu Shuang couldn't help but complain. Seeing that Lu Shuang was looking at her in disappointment, he smiled. He loved teasing her the most. It was an addiction and a hobby. He said, I've already asked my secretary to prepare a reward for you. It'll be spectacular. Spectacular. Even more spectacular than 3 million. Lu Shuang asked tentatively. I remember you were a lieutenant when you were in Gulingqing, weren't you? You've made a great contribution this time, so you'll be promoted to captain. It's very difficult for ordinary people to be promoted, Shen Yan explained. That? I think 3 million is more practical, Lu Shuang hinted. Shen Yan ignored Lu Shuang. She closed her eyes and continued to pretend to sleep. Lu Shuang muttered softly, cheapskate, drink some cold water. She felt that the last 2 sentences were inappropriate, so she didn't say it out loud. Shen Yan heard it and smiled. She was in a good mood. He remembered something that happened when he was young. At that time, the high school entrance exam was a test for physical education. Therefore, in the 3rd year of middle school, physical education could not be neglected, especially the 800-meter long-distance race. That day, he saw her give a bottle of Coke to a boy in her class. That boy was only as tall as his neck. At that time, he had ridiculed her. What kind of taste did Lu Shuang have? Not every boy who was less than 1.6 meters was a fighter jet. He easily snatched the Coke from the boy and drank it. He even treated the whole class except for Lu Shuang. He heard Lu Shuang saying that cheapskate, drink cold water, marry a wife, and only have 1 leg. In the end, she tripped over him while running and twisted her leg. He was in a very good mood. When he passed by Lu Shuang, he felt refreshed. He even teased, yo. Now you only have 1 leg left. Later, he found out that Lu Shuang didn't pay for the drink. She borrowed $2.50 from the boy. The boy gave her $5 and asked her to bring him a bottle of Coke. He was kind enough to let the boy go. However, the boy never dared to lend money to Lu Shuang again. The car entered Shen Yan's workplace. After the inspection, it stopped at Shen Yan's office. The guard came to open the door. Shen Yan and Hua Zixing came down. Lu Shuang followed Shen Yan into the office building. Shen Yan's secretary was a white-haired old man. He wore a suit and looked very elegant. He was like a respected teacher in a martial arts novel, with a cool and proud temperament. There was a special logo on the belt of his suit. It should be a work uniform. She had come with Shinian on Friday, but she didn't see this person. He asked for leave last week. He is my secretary. His surname is Jiang. You can call him Secretary Jiang from now on. He is in charge of all the secretaries here. He is a very responsible and meticulous senior. I have a lot to learn from him, Shinian explained to Lu Shuang. There were very few people that Shinian could learn from. Lu Shuang nodded politely. Nice to meet you, Secretary Jiang. I am Lu Shuang, Shen. President's assistant. Secretary Jiang nodded indifferently, indicating that he understood. She works directly under me. I will ask her to do some things, Shinian said. Only then did Secretary Jiang place his gaze on Lu Shuang's face. He looked her up and down as if he was trying to gauge her capabilities. Lu Shuang felt guilty under his gaze. She straightened her back and tried to look at him directly. At least, she didn't look inferior. Take good care of the president, Secretary Jiang said in a low voice. In front of others, Lu Shuang didn't dare to be too presumptuous. She nodded politely and said, I will follow your instructions. Shen Yin smiled. Sometimes, when Lu Shuang pretended to be good, she could really fool people. He remembered that she didn't do her math paper once. At that time, many people didn't do it. The teacher got angry and asked those who didn't do it to stand up. Many students stood up, and the teacher called their parents. He saw that she didn't do it, but she didn't stand up. She pretended to be calm and calm. He hated that she ignored him, so he raised his hand and told the teacher that she didn't do her math paper. The teacher walked towards her and asked angrily, Where is the math paper? He saw that she said calmly to the teacher, I left it at home. I will bring it tomorrow. In the end, the teacher really let her go. She didn't have great wisdom, but she still had the ability to be anxious. Tell me the main schedule for this week, Shinian said. You have 2 meetings in the morning. The main contents of the meetings are about the election of the finance minister, the reform of the education bureau, the discussion of the military parade, and the maneuver of the North and South military regions. This week, you need to visit the old cadres, the empty nesters who were elected last month, and the 2 orphanages. You see, I still need to do those things. I will participate in the invisible maneuver this week. In addition, find a reason to invite successful entrepreneurs from 22 states to City A. I want to meet them, Shinian said. Chapter 591. I'm just doing what I'm supposed to do. We have to arrange this quickly. Otherwise, we might miss a good opportunity. Our opponent won't give us much time to breathe, Shinian reminded him. Yes, I'll arrange it now. Your meeting will start at 9. Okay, Shinian replied and looked at Hua Zixing. Hua Zixing nodded with a smile and said to Lu Shuang, Come with me. Lu Shuang walked towards Hua Zixing and looked back at Shinian. He was looking at her too, and the corners of his lips curled up slightly. There were some things that she did not understand. For example, why did Secretary Jiang say that he was more resourceful and farsighted than her father when he said that he wanted to meet entrepreneurs? The current him seemed to be different from the arrogant and wicked boy he was when he was young. He was more mature, calm, and shrewd than before. It felt like a boy had grown up to be a man. She had a strange feeling in her heart, and she felt a little flustered. She lowered her head and followed Hua Zixing. Don't worry. Just stay by my side when the time comes. I can introduce you to the important members. If you don't want to do anything wrong, try not to talk. I'll help you, Hua Zixing said gently. Madam, there's actually no need, Lu Shuang said. I'm not interested in these things. You'll have to interact with them in the future. This is your job and responsibility. You can't avoid it. Maybe it's because your life is simpler, but it doesn't matter. I'll try my best to teach you. If there's anything you don't understand, you can ask me, Hua Zixing said gently. Lu Shuang wanted to say something but stopped. He was afraid that if he said that he wanted to leave and if Shinian found out, it would be hard for her to leave. So, he held back and followed Hua Zixing to the cabinet. There was a special meeting room in the cabinet. It was filled with women, and they were all seated according to their positions. The most respected one was Hua Zixing. Hua Zixing was the head of the cabinet. The higher the position, the closer they were to Hua Zixing. Lu Shuang felt that it was inappropriate for him to sit near Hua Zixing, so he walked towards the last seat. Hua Zixing held Lu Shuang's hand and said, Nangong Yu usually sits at the first seat on my left to record the meeting minutes. She's been sick for the past few days, so you'll have to take her place. The meeting minutes are on the table in the corner. Hua Zixing's voice was soft and gentle, neither too loud nor too soft. It was just loud enough for everyone to hear. She explained the reason why Lu Shuang came here, so that others wouldn't feel weird when she sat in the first seat. Lu Shuang felt that Hua Zixing's EQ was extremely high. It was something that she could never learn. He nodded respectfully and went to pick up a book and a pen from the table in the corner. Then, he sat at the first seat on Hua Zixing's left. Let's have a casual chat. It's almost the new year. What kind of gift would you like to receive and give? Hua Zixing said with a smile. The meeting was dead silent. No one said a word. Lu Shuang didn't know what was going on, so he definitely wouldn't speak. Sitting down was torturous. She would rather play games in front of the computer than now. Hua Zixing looked at Su Zhang's wife on her right. Mrs. Su, what do you think? I think it's a token of our sincerity. Let's just do the same as the previous years. Su Zhang's wife didn't have her own opinion. If it's the same as the previous years, won't it be too perfunctory? Mrs. Sua, what do you think? Hua Zixing asked Sua Chuni's wife. I think we should give out a supermarket card. It can increase the nation's output and also let everyone buy what they like. It's a win-win situation, Mrs. Sua Chuni said. I think it's a good idea. It's more popular and convenient to apply for a supermarket card, someone added. Won't that be too boring? I think it's also a perfunctory idea. Hua Zixing said after some thought. She looked at Lu Shuang. What do you think? Lu Shuang was stunned. I think we can just vote by raising our hands. Those who think it's good, raise your hand. Those who think it's not good, don't raise your hand. Okay, let's vote by raising our hands. Those who think it's good, raise your hand, Hua Zixing said gently. Lu Shuang was the first to raise her hand, and the others followed suit one after another. Then we'll give out a supermarket card and a box of apples. We hope that everyone is safe and healthy. Is that okay? Hua Zixing asked. No one objected. However, Lu Shuang felt that the atmosphere in the meeting room was a little weird. She was a layman, so she kept her head down and wrote in her notebook. New Year's goods, a supermarket card and a box of apples. I'm going to the orphanage next week. Does anyone want to go with me? Hua Zixing asked. Sir, I'd like to go with you. Lu Shuang saw a woman in her 50s raise her hand. Her voice was trembling, and she sounded like a yes man. Lady Xing, you shouldn't go. Your husband is in the limelight now. It's not appropriate for you to go to the orphanage to see those innocent children, someone retorted immediately. The wife of the Minister of Education didn't look good. She said awkwardly, those are the doings of his subordinates. He doesn't know about it. He's being wronged. Some places are too far away for him to manage. It's just something that happens in the corner. That's exactly what you're doing. I think there's a big problem with the Ministry of Education. These students are the future of the country. What you're doing is shaking the foundation of the country. The Minister of Education's face was pale. She said angrily, Mrs. Chin, how can you say that? How is it shaking the foundation of the country? According to you, even a plastic bag thrown from the window can make a big hole in the ground. Is this the same thing? The Ministry of Education is training the next generation of the country. Your husband let some bad students replace the good students. Those bad students have bad characters. They commit murder and arson. They will also lead the good students astray. This kind of behavior is very bad. It's no wonder the foundation of the country will be shaken in the long run. What do you mean my husband let them do that? My husband doesn't know at all. If he knew, he wouldn't let this happen, the wife of the Minister of Education argued. Your husband is in charge of this. If he doesn't know, isn't that a dereliction of duty? Mrs. Chen said sarcastically. Chen Miao, you're in cahoots with that Baya, right? Are you her lackey? The wife of the Minister of Education said harshly. Lu Shuang's heart skipped a beat when he heard the name Baya. Chapter 592. She recalled a lot of her past experiences with Baya. The two of them went to the hospital for their internship together. As they were both newbies, they naturally got closer when they entered. As Baya's personality was rather cold, they didn't interact much with each other. The turning point was when the internship was about to end. She caught a cold and was in a daze the entire day. She didn't even finish her thesis and thought that it would be bad luck. She didn't expect that Baya would finish it for her and hand it in. She was a loyal person. After that, she became especially close to Baya. Slowly, the two of them became good friends. If it wasn't for her mother's matter, she would probably still be best friends with Baya. Unfortunately, there were no ifs in the world. Her mother wouldn't have come back to life. Now, Baya was already high up in the sky. The two of them were like strangers. In her heart, there was always some bitterness. The feelings in the past were really sincere. Her heart wasn't made of stone. It wouldn't not feel anything. Lu Shuang, what do you think? Hua Xixing asked. Lu Shuang came back to her senses. She was immersed in her memories and didn't hear what they were talking about. Oh, I don't understand. I won't comment. Hua Xixing was stunned and smiled. She really didn't expect Lu Shuang to have such an answer. Did she overestimate her? Can anyone explain in detail? Hua Xixing said gently. It's like this. This lady Zhang is the wife of the Minister of Education. Now that there's a big problem in the Ministry of Education, I don't think it's appropriate for the minister's wife to follow the president's wife to the orphanage, Chen Miao said. What's inappropriate about it? I want to see that the child's heart is good. If you insist on scaring people like Baya, I feel that you have bad intentions, the minister's wife said angrily. Nowadays, everything that's being posted on the internet is the truth. How is it an alarmist? Look, the child's heart is good. Who would believe that? If it was good, why would they let a poor student take over the position of a good student? Chen Miao refused to let go of this matter. Lady Zhang said that her husband didn't know about it. I believe that the Minister of Education is also investigating this matter. I don't think the children in the orphanage should be involved in this matter. What do you think? Mrs. Zhuachuni said. She was experienced and prudent. As soon as she spoke, everyone was silent for a few seconds. Hua Xixing smiled and did not speak. Mrs. Zhua, Deputy Director Zhua is in charge of the education department. You won't cover for her, will you? Chen Miao said sarcastically. If they find out the truth, they will definitely be punished severely. However, before the truth is out, it will show that they have bad intentions to speculate and slander us. Mrs. Chen, your husband is the director of the Provincial Public Security Bureau. What do you think? Mrs. Zhuani said calmly. Maybe it was because of her age and experience, although she said this with a smile, it was a strong deterrent. I've said what I think. I can't do anything if you want to cause public anger. If you don't listen to good people, you will suffer. Chen Miao shrugged and looked indifferent. Lu Shuang, what do you think? Hua Zixing asked softly. Lu Shuang blinked. Didn't Hua Zixing tell him to talk less? He kept asking her what she thought. Did she think that the meeting could be adjourned? Actually, Lady Xing wants to go to the orphanage to whitewash herself and make everyone think that she is very caring. Because she went with the president's wife, she also wants others to know that the president doesn't think that there is a problem with the Minister of Education. She wants those who are watching the show to shut up. Mrs. Chen thinks that the Ministry of Education is in the limelight now. If she goes with the president's wife to the orphanage, it will drag the president down with her and make others think that the president is unfair. Also, if there is a problem with the Ministry of Education, whitewashing herself like this will make people hate her. I think that going to the orphanage is fine. After all, everyone has the responsibility to love the orphans. However, it is not suitable to go to the orphanage when it is in the limelight. It will make people feel that there is something wrong with it. But I don't know much about it. In the end, it is up to you to decide. Lu Shuang smiled at Lady Xing to show his friendliness. Everyone fell silent after she finished speaking. The atmosphere was oppressive. The people here didn't speak clearly. They stood in a high position and looked dignified. If they didn't say their private messages, they would seem hypocritical. Lu Shuang's words were very honest and thought-provoking. Mrs. Zhua, what do you think? Hua Zixing asked Mrs. Zhuani. Lu Shuang glanced at the other people's expressions. She guessed that Mrs. Zhua was the most respected person here, so even Hua Zixing was afraid of her. Mrs. Zhuani smiled. Indeed, Advisor Lu's words make sense. Before the investigation is complete, it would be inappropriate for Madame Xing to go to the orphanage. It wouldn't be too late to go after the investigation is complete. Mrs. Zhuani looked at Lu Shuang with a smile. Lu Shuang realized that Advisor Lu was referring to her. I don't know if I'm right. Just wait and see. Lu Shuang tried to play dumb. She wasn't Advisor Lu. She wouldn't take sides with anyone. She needed to solve her own problems first. She didn't want to get involved in someone else's mess. Then it's decided. We'll have plenty of opportunities to go to the orphanage in the future. Mrs. Zhua, Mrs. Su, can you two come with me this time? Hua Zixing asked. Su Zhang's wife nodded. I'm fine with it. Mrs. Zhuani pursed her lips and said meaningfully, I'm not going. I don't know if it's because of my water inversion, but I can't catch a cold. Maybe it's because I'm old and I can't be compared to young people. Mrs. Zhua, you have to take care of yourself. Nothing else matters except your health, Hua Zixing said gently. You're right, leader. Mrs. Zhuani nodded. Who else wants to sign up? Hua Zixing asked. I like kids. I have to prepare some presents for them, Chen Miao said with a smile. Hua Zixing nodded. Thank you, everyone. Let's call it a day. Let's adjourn. Lu Shuang wrote in his notebook, the president's wife will take Mrs. Su and Chen Miao to the orphanage. Hua Zixing stood up and walked to the door. Lu Shuang put the notebook on the table in the corner and left with Hua Zixing. She felt the air was much fresher as soon as she walked out. What did you see in the meeting? Hua Xixing asked in a low voice. The meeting is over. I didn't see anything. I'm a bit dizzy. Lu Shuang felt like he was taking a mock exam. She scratched her head. Her hair, which had been tied up neatly, was now in a mess. Chapter 593. Just the sound of it made it sound very difficult. If I knew all this, I wouldn't be so useless now. Please forgive me. I'm a little sleepy and want to sleep. I slept late last night. Lu Shuang yawned. Hua Xixing sighed. Take it slow. Ian is still in a meeting. Why don't you sleep in my room? There's a lounge in my room. Thank you, Mrs. President. You're the best. Hurry up and take me there, Lu Shuang urged, smiling as she hugged Hua Xixing's arm. Hua Xixing's lips twitched as she brought her to her room. Lu Shuang took off her shoes and clothes. She climbed into bed and got under the blanket. She waved at Hua Xixing. Please close the door. Thank you. Hua Xixing closed the door for her. Lu Shuang stared at the white ceiling. She felt a little bitter in her heart. Let the ending develop in the direction she wanted. She needed to show her power and control people's hearts. She really didn't know how to do all this. She was too casual and didn't use her brain much. She would get along with people she could get along with sincerely. She wouldn't get along with people she couldn't get along with. She didn't have so much time to think of schemes and strategies. She couldn't do that. People like her were more suited to find a stable job and a husband who worked from 9 to 5. She would gather with friends every few days, drink tea, and go shopping. She and Shen Yiyan. Impossible. Just thinking about it gave her a headache. She'd better not think about it. She closed her eyes and went to sleep. Hua Xixing was sitting in front of the office chair when her phone rang. She saw the caller ID and smiled. She answered. You're here. Yes, I'm here. Have you learned everything you need to learn? Hua Xixing asked. Yes. Go back to the President Palace and wait for me. I'll be back at noon. My garden is on the 3rd floor. Do you like it? Hua Xixing said with a smile. Yes, you planted it. I'll definitely like it. I won't disturb you anymore. I'll go over now. Okay. See you at noon. Hua Xixing hung up the phone with a smile on her face. She continued to look at the computer. Lu Shuang was woken up by her phone ringing. She looked at the caller ID and saw that it was Shen Yiyan. He didn't know why, but he was still feeling down. He answered Shen Yiyan's call while lying down. Where? Shen Yiyan asked. Lying on your. She didn't finish the word wife and changed her words. Sleeping on Hua Xixing's side. I'm here to pick you up. It's time for lunch. We'll go to the training base in the afternoon, Shen Yiyan said with a smile. She seemed to be in a good mood. Yes. Lu Shuang sat up. He felt cold and put on his clothes. When he got up from the bed, Shen Yiyan pushed open the door and entered the room. He closed the door again, came to her side, hugged her waist, and kissed her lips. Lu Shuang covered his lips. I didn't brush my teeth. It's not like I despise you. It's not like you've been dirty for a day or two. Shen Yiyan smiled and looked at him dotingly. Shen Yiyan rolled her eyes at him. You're the dirty one. Yes, I'm dirty. We're a pair in the sky. We're both dirty. I didn't brush my teeth either, Shen Yiyan said with a smile and kissed her. Lu Shuang didn't put his hand down. He kissed the back of her hand and smiled. It was a smile that could make all living things go crazy. This guy's face had the lethality to charm all living things. Lu Shuang put his hand down. You look like you're in a good mood. He had already found out where their child was. He also knew where she used to live. Who she contacted, who she left, who she met, who she rejected. In the future, even if she left, he would be able to find her. Could he tell her? He couldn't. He sat on the bed and pulled her onto his body. His voice became gentler. Am I in a good mood? At least I will grant all your requests now. What do you want? I don't want to go to meetings with Hua Sixing anymore. It's boring. It's just a bunch of women. It's boring, Lu Shuang said immediately. Shen Yiyan hesitated. Shen Yiyan, you said that you would grant all my requests just now. You lied to me again, Lu Shuang said coquettishly. Where did that come from? I asked you to follow Hua Sixing to learn more. She received royal education from a young age, and her father is also a member of the royal family. She handles things more meticulously than I do. When you marry me in the future, you'll have to do all this, Shen Yiyan explained patiently. Shen Yiyan, you and I have known each other for more than 10 years. Do you think I'm cut out for that? When the teacher was in class for a few more minutes, I was the one who yelled the loudest. I wasn't suited to live in such a well-behaved environment. I didn't have that kind of brain. Every time, Baiyu would tell me that if I was in the classroom, I would be like this. In a palace drama, I'm sure I'll be the first one to carry the lunchbox. That's why I asked you to learn from Hua Sixing. Lu Shuang lowered his eyes and tugged at the flesh on his finger. I really don't understand why you want to marry me, who is so incompatible with you. If it's possible, I really think that you and Hua Sixing are pretty good. It's good that Hua Sixing and I are like this. She can help me manage the cabinet and get twice the results with half the effort. However, I want to give you a status. I don't want you to follow me with grievances. You don't want to follow me without a status, do you? Shen Yiyan was a little angry. Her cold eyes narrowed. Hey! Lu Shuang knocked his head. You were the one who said that I would grant you every request. Are you angry again? Shuang, can you be more proactive? Don't make me feel that I'm the only one who wants us to be together, okay? Shen Yiyan sighed softly and said helplessly. She really didn't want to be together with him. She lowered her eyes. She didn't know why, but there were waves of sadness in her heart. It was like the misty rain of Jiangnan enveloping her heart. It was moist and moist for no reason. Why do you like me? You know how I am. Lu Shuang couldn't figure it out. Shen Yiyan smiled and looked at him seductively. Because there's only you. I've liked you since junior high. I've confessed to you before. Don't you remember? Ah. You confessed to me in junior high. Why did she only remember that he had always bullied her? Didn't the school organize a trip to Qingfeng Park? Shen Yiyan reminded her. She remembered. Was it during the 3rd year of junior high? During the physical examination in the morning and the trip in the afternoon, when did you confess to me? Everyone said that as long as you give a willow branch and the other party accepts it, you can keep the other party and become a couple, Shen Yiyan explained. She remembered the willow branch part. She still remembered that it was a very good day. The sun was high in the sky and there were no clouds in the sky. She bought an ice cream and saw a group of classmates sitting on the ground in a circle. One look and she knew that they were gossiping. She went over happily. Chapter 594. He ran so fast that she couldn't catch up with him. She stood on the bridge, panting. After a while, she saw him walking over with an ice cream in his hand. He asked in a relaxed and teasing tone, is the willow branch for me. She was so angry that she was about to explode. She felt that Shen Yin had spoiled her ice cream on purpose so that she could eat it in front of him to show off. You accompany me to eat ice cream, she said angrily. Shen Yin passed the ice cream to her. She was shocked and suspected that the ice cream was poisoned. Otherwise, why would he really give her ice cream? She picked up the willow branch and whipped him. Just once. When she was about to whip him for the second time, he grabbed the branch. He said, "Hey, you are so fierce. Be careful that no one will marry you. It's none of your business." She whipped the willow branch. He held it tightly. "Isn't this what you wanted to give me?" She thought that she had vented her anger by whipping him just now. She didn't want the willow branch anymore since it was his anyway. She let go of it, glared at him and left. He couldn't remember the things that happened after that, but he had a clear memory of this incident. "Do you remember?" Shen Yin asked her. "I didn't know that the willow branch had the intention to confess. No one told me. Where did it go after that?" Lu Shuang asked curiously. Shen Yin chuckled. "In the President Palace, in my room, hanging on the wall. Didn't you notice?" Lu Shuang's eyes widened and her heart trembled violently. Shen Yin really liked her. "I didn't see it." Lu Shuang shook her head in disbelief. Shen Yin scratched her nose. "What can you see? I'll take you back to see it after dinner. Aren't we eating at your house?" Shen Yin knocked her head. "What house? That's your house too. If you don't want to go, I'll take you to another place for dinner. Don't you like eating fish?" "I don't like fish." "Who told you that?" Lu Shuang was confused. She was very casual when it came to food. She would eat whatever was delicious. "Didn't you always go fishing with your friends?" Shen Yin remembered correctly. He knew her whereabouts like the back of his hand. "So, you're taking me out to eat fish?" "Yes. There's a fish feast that's especially good. When it comes to cooking fish banquets, Bai Ye's cooking is the best. Her cooking skills are top-notch," Lu Shuang praised. Shen Yin looked at her deeply. "Are you really not going to forgive Bai Ye? She's your best friend." Lu Shuang paused. His eyes dimmed and he shook his head. The deeper their feelings were, the more hurt they would be. It was to the extent that they would never see each other again. Shen Yin held her hand and walked out of the room. When Hua Xixing saw them, she stood up and smiled. "You go back first. I'll eat somewhere else with Lu Shuang," Shen Yin said to Hua Xixing. "Okay. Have you arranged everything?" Hua Xixing asked worriedly. "Yes. Thank you for your hard work these few days. Call me if anything happens," Shen Yin said to Hua Xixing politely. It was as if there was always a distance between them. It wasn't cold or hot. "It's my job," Hua Xixing said with a smile. She watched Lu Shuang and Shen Yin leave. They left. They were all dressed up. Shen Yin only brought Colonel Ching with him. They drove to the back door of a restaurant in the downtown area and went straight to the private room on the third floor. "We're out in broad daylight. Is it okay?" Lu Shuang asked worriedly. He looked to the left and then to the right. There were only the three of them in the entire corridor. "Don't worry." Shen Yin comforted her. She brought her to the private room and sat down. She explained, "This is the third floor. No one can come up except for special staff. It's so troublesome and scary. Isn't that right, Colonel Ching?" Lu Shuang looked at Colonel Ching. Colonel Ching lowered his head and smiled. He didn't say anything. If the president did this a few more times, his life would be shortened by a few years. He was terrified. You see. Don't do this in the future, Lu Shuang suggested. I bought this restaurant for you. I brought you here to take a look, Shen Yan said. Lu Shuang was surprised. He pointed at his nose and said, You gave it to me. She couldn't take it away. She couldn't bear to give it to him. Who else can I give it to if not you? Shen Yan's lips twitched. The staff had already prepared Shen Yan's lunch. They lined up to send it over. Lu Shuang looked at it. It was really sumptuous. There were all kinds of delicacies made of fish in various styles. With this, Bai Ye's fish feast was more homely. Lu Shuang took a bite of the round, pancake-like thing. It's delicious. How do you make this? Shen Yan looked at the staff next to her. The staff explained respectfully, First, cut the fish into minced meat. Then, put in the cooked mutton and a small amount of flour. In the ratio of 5:3:1, put it in the lotus leaves and bake it in the oven at 500 degrees for 5 minutes. Then, take it out and wrap the shaped fish and mutton in the chicken. After that, you cut them into slices and pour the gravy over them. This is the fish playing with the lotus leaves that you are eating now. Lu Shuang, she was just asking casually. She didn't need to answer so seriously. She wouldn't do it anyway if she heard it. She twitched the corner of her mouth. She'd better keep her head down and eat. Introduce this Taoist to her, Shen Yan ordered. Spare me, Lu Shuang said. What are you afraid of? I'm not asking you to learn. Why don't you let me learn faster? Shen Yan said dotingly. She gestured to the staff with her eyes. The staff nodded and continued to introduce seriously, the main recipe of this meatball is to beat the fish into minced meat. Then, add the prawn meat and sorghum flour. Put them together and beat them until they are smooth. Then, freeze the various fillings and wrap them in the meatball. The meatball is coated with a thin layer of flour mixed with egg white. Fry it in a pan of oil for about 3 minutes. Then, take the meatball out to cool down. Then, make a simple duck pot. Put the roast duck and bamboo shoots together and cook them until they are soft. Then, fish out all the bamboo shoots and put the meatball in. Cook it for 5 minutes. What about the bamboo shoots? Lu Shuang asked. The staff smiled. This Taoist farmhouse is made with those bamboo shoots. The method is, all right, I don't need to know how to make it. Thank you for your hard work. I'm going to dig in. Lu Shuang stopped her from continuing. She took a bite of the farmhouse. In short, it was super delicious. How is it? Shen Yan asked. Lu Shuang gave her a thumbs up. Shen Yan smiled. Didn't you say that I'm stingy? The income from this place will be directly deposited into your bank account. Lu Shuang paused and gave him an ambiguous look. Afraid that he would see through her emotions, she lowered her head again. Hello, everyone. I'm Qin Tang Tang. You can follow me on WeChat. Chapter 595. She was going to leave soon. Even if he gave it to her, she wouldn't dare to take it. After the meal, Lu Shuang saw the painting that Shen Yan was talking about. It turned out that he really brought back that willow branch. He didn't make it into a specimen, but he processed it and made it into a miniature willow tree. Beside the willow tree was a bridge. On the bridge, a man and a woman stood facing each other. The woman was holding a willow branch and the man was holding an ice cream. Wasn't this the scene they used to see? This is a 3-sided painting. You can see it differently from different angles. Shen Yan pulled her to the center. In the middle, the painting was changed. The woman was holding an ice cream and the man was holding a willow branch. Wow, It's amazing. It's not as amazing as insomnia. After making all three sides, you used the principle of optics. Didn't we have a lot of such designs on our pencil boxes when we were young? I remember it was on your pencil box, too, Shanian explained. How could she remember the pencil box when she was young? Shanian held her hand and walked to the right side. In the painting, a man and a woman were kissing. Lu Shuang blushed instantly. This guy was too imaginative. When did you make this? As for the junior high school graduation, I prepared a gift for you and told you not to forget me. Even if we were not in the same place, we should keep in touch. I waited for you at the airport for 2 hours, but you didn't come. You even turned off your phone. Shen Yin recalled. His eyes were sharp. Her eyes were sharp and sad. She vaguely remembered that her classmates called her one by one, saying that Shen Yin was leaving and that she was at the airport now. She wanted to sleep. There were too many calls from her classmates, so she just turned off her phone. At that time, she thought that it was great. Shen Yin had finally left and her good days were coming. She went back to sleep with a sweet dream. Did you ask those classmates to call me? Lu Shuang asked in disdain. You even said that I called over 20 of my classmates to tell you that I was at the airport. Why didn't you send me off? Shen Yin frowned and asked with anger in her eyes. If she said that she wanted to sleep, he would probably explode in anger. She pointed at the painting on the wall. The leaves of the willow branch look quite fresh. Did you do something to trick me recently? It's vacuum inside. Of course, it's fresh. Do you want me to take it out and let you study it? Is it the one you used to smoke me? Shen Yin's eyes turned colder. She didn't say the reason, but he could guess it. Didn't you like me at all before? Shen Yin asked. I don't like you. I hate you. I look forward to your transfer every day. Lu Shuang said whatever was on his mind. After saying that, she looked at Shen Yin's face and knew that he was angry. She couldn't lose her confidence. You bullied me every day. You didn't even do your homework. You even gave the teacher the love letter that someone gave me. You treated the whole class to dinner but not me. You even played tricks on me and made me look bad. Lu Shuang complained. Did I have to watch you fall in love with someone else? If I didn't bully you, how would you remember me? Shen Yin said with her eyes drooping. Her face was still sullen. You said that you like me, but you married someone else. Lu Shuang's eyes widened. Shen Yin frowned and her eyes softened. Lu Shuang felt that it was useful. He said, if you like me, why did you marry someone else? Shen Yin hugged Lu Shuang and explained, I have the responsibility of the family. My father made a lot of enemies. If the Shen family doesn't rise, many people will suffer. When you step down, many people will suffer too, right? Shen Yin looked at her deeply. After a moment of silence, she said seriously, I promise you, I will marry you in 1 year at most. When my contract with Hua Xixing expires, I won't let you work so hard. Why? Those people will still suffer. Lu Shuang was confused. If I can't establish my own power in 4 years, then I won't be able to be the president. No matter how much time I have, it won't help. I don't want to let you down again. He knew that if he let her down again, he would lose her forever. Lu Shuang had a strange feeling in his heart. It was a very special feeling. Women were soft-hearted and moved animals. Because they were moved, they could ignore the other party's appearance, figure, family, background, and so on. Personally, he felt honored and incredible to be liked by Shen Yin. Shen Yin was the president. In addition to being beautiful, he was also a little younger than her. In terms of power, he was the best. He had good skills. Although his character was sometimes bad, sometimes it was okay. It was like she had tried her best to buy a house with 2 bedrooms and 1 living room in City A, but God gave her a big mansion in City A. In addition to being pleasantly surprised, she was more unable to adapt to it, so she had a feeling of unreality. He kissed her on the lips. Lu Shuang took a step back subconsciously. Shen Yiyan hugged her waist even faster. His eyes flashed with a cold glint, hiding his pain and anger. You still haven't fallen in love with me. How can I like you? If she said no, would he crush her to death? His current reaction was a little scary, and his grip on her waist was very strong. Didn't you want to kiss me? I want to brush my teeth. Lu Shuang had an idea. Shen Yiyan lowered his head and kissed her lips. His red tongue swept across her teeth. Her heart was beating fast. There was a kind of moisture and surging, as if some kind of emotion was about to rush out of her brain. She was a little repulsed, but she couldn't resist. She looked at him with her eyes wide open. He looked at her too. There was pain in his eyes, but he didn't hide it. This was different from his usual arrogant and superior look. She was almost cross-eyed. She closed her eyes. Shen Yiyan was teasing her. He was teasing her so much that she couldn't think. Would he be able to let go of her if she responded to him? She stuck her tongue into his mouth. Shen Yiyan was even more excited. His breathing became heavier. He carried her up, put her on the bed and took off his suit. Shouldn't he let her go? I think we should take a shower first. Calm down, Before she could finish, he kissed her lips, threw his clothes beside the pillow and unbuckled his belt. Lu Shuang pushed him away. He felt that he was too overbearing. Shen Yiyan, I can't run away. Take a shower first. Shen Yiyan was pushed away. He was unhappy. I'm not dirty. I'm dirty. I don't mind. He lowered his head. Chapter 596. You can be shy. How could he not believe it? She wanted to slap him. Carry me to the bathroom. You can't carry me, can you? She decided to goad him. He had no choice but to carry her and walk towards the bathroom. Lu Shuang got what she wanted. She was happy and kissed him on the lips. Little Yen, be good. What did you call me? Do you believe that I won't let you go now? Shen Yiyan was not satisfied with the way he addressed him. Big Yen. His eyes became more charming. Call me hubby. Lu Shuang pursed her lips. She couldn't say it out loud. No, not yet. You want someone other than your husband to f***cku? He asked in a husky voice as he put her in the bathtub. I haven't taken off my clothes yet. Lu Shuang was anxious. He placed his hands on both sides of the bathtub and pinned her inside. He looked down at her and said, You haven't answered me yet. Well. Not yet, right? Lu Shuang was afraid that her clothes would get wet if he suddenly turned on the water, so she took off her clothes. That's not the question. Do you like me now? Shen Yiyan asked. The answer made him a little nervous and he couldn't even breathe properly. Lu Shuang hesitated. The longer she hesitated, the worse Shen Yiyan's face became. I like you. Lu Shuang said. She was just brushing him off, but when she said those words, her heart trembled. If he told too many lies, he would scare himself. Shen Yiyan smiled and his mood suddenly became better. If you dare to lie to me, I will kill you. Can you regret it? She felt guilty. No, I will kill you even if I regret it. Shen Yiyan said domineeringly. He took off his other clothes and adjusted the water temperature. Seeing that she was almost ready, he filled the bathtub with water. The warm water was steaming and soon the bathroom became misty, as if it was covering the man and the woman with a layer of shyness, creating a beautiful and dreamy dream. He looked at her with a burning gaze. Lu Shuang felt uncomfortable being stared at by him. He remembered what he had said, that he had liked her since he was in junior high school. Suddenly, his heart throbbed, as if a small stone had been thrown into a calm lake, creating circles of ripples. She cleared her throat. I still want to brush my teeth. Is that okay? Shaniyan squeezed out the toothpaste, filled a cup with water, and handed it to her. She quickly took it and peeked at him. He was also brushing his teeth. His side profile was beautiful beyond compare. Lu Shuang thought of something else. After you left City A, I heard a lot of news about you. They said that you have many girlfriends. Shen Yan looked at her. You believe in rumors. Actually, I've seen you before. When I was traveling, I saw you hugging a beautiful woman and entering a hotel. I happened to be staying in that hotel, Lu Shuang said. Shen Yan remained silent. After he left City A, he did not get a response from her. He was frustrated, so he did have many girlfriends. To be honest, he had forgotten their faces and names. They did not date for long. The longest was 3 months, and the shortest was a day. One of them looked like Lu Shuang, so he brought her on a trip. At first, he had planned to sleep with that girl, so he only got a room. But in the end, it did not happen. He looked at that girl, like a shy bride, looking at him lovingly, waiting for him. He thought that if it was Lu Shuang who brought her to the hotel, she would definitely give him a slap or a punch. She would not be so obedient. After all, they were not her. He felt bored and went to ask for another room. He did not touch that girl, and when he went back, he broke up with her. From then on, he did not look for another girlfriend. When he knew that she was going on a blind date, he came immediately. He knew that he had never forgotten about her. He also knew that he only wanted her. I did not do anything with her, Shaniyan said. Lu Shuang chuckled. She did not believe him at all. She had seen it. You should install some kind of membrane on your man. Otherwise, I would not be able to tell. Do you still remember our first time? Shen Yin asked. Remember my A*S? That B*** Su Jiran drugged me. Just thinking about it makes me angry. Shen Yin poked her head. You even laughed at me for being fast. Have you forgotten? Lu Shuang tried hard to recall. She could not remember it, but it seemed like it was like that in the video. She smiled and said, Shen Yin, did you install an accelerator and it was done in the blink of an eye? A man's first time is fast, Shen Yin explained. Really? Then next time I... Before she could finish, he kissed her. He nipped at her lips with his. It hurts. Lu Shuang pushed him away and covered her lips. She looked at her finger. It was bleeding. She was furious. Shen Yin, are you crazy? Let's see if you will spout nonsense again. I want to see which man dares to get close to you. Do you want to die? Shen Yin said with reddened eyes. She realized that he seemed to have taken it seriously. I was just joking. You are not allowed to joke, he said domineeringly. His voice became gentle again. I don't feel comfortable listening to it. Ha! He kissed her. This time, it was very gentle. He licked the blood and soothed her wound. Slowly, he moved down her chin, to her neck and collarbone. Lu Shuang felt a little itchy and numb. What should she do? She felt like she was going to fall for him. Fall for Shen Yin. She shuddered. It was scary just thinking about it. She pushed him. He held her hand and pressed it on the top of her head. He kissed her arm. There was more and more water in the bathtub. It was so warm that it enveloped her. He stepped in and looked at her with burning eyes. He said softly, "Xiao Shuang, don't push me away anymore. You said you like me." She didn't know. She was confused and worried. He continued to kiss her. It was moist, hot, charming, and dreamy. She gradually couldn't think. She took everything from him. Her breathing became uneven, and her voice became sweet. It mixed with his panting, forming a beautiful music score. Ripple, ripple, half an hour later. Lu Shuang was resting on the bed, thinking about life. She was getting older. She was not as stubborn and persistent as she was when she was young. Her love was not so pure. She didn't know if it was because she was used to it or because Shiniyan's skills were too good. She actually liked it, annoyance and irritation. This was not a good state. "What's wrong?" Shiniyan asked when she saw her holding her forehead speechlessly. Lu Shuang came back to her senses. She couldn't tell him what she was thinking about. She turned around and changed the topic. "Well, didn't you say we are going to the invisible training base in the afternoon?" Chapter 597. She turned around and faced him. "I think you look better than Hua Zixing when you dress up as a girl. Why do men need to be good-looking?" Shen Yiyan said seriously. Lu Shuang burst into laughter. "To attract me. I like good-looking men." He played with her long hair. "Then I'd better be good-looking." Lu Shuang's eyes turned into crescents as he smiled. "Then why do you like me?" "It's because I'm good-looking, right?" "What do you mean by good-looking?" Shen Yiyan said in disdain. Lu Shuang's eyes drooped. He was in a good mood. He put his arm around her shoulders and pulled her into his embrace. There are many good-looking people in the world. Many good-looking people are old and no longer look good. I don't care about looks. I think I like you because you did my homework for me for 3 years. Only you, alone. Only you, did my homework for 3 years. You should have said so earlier. If you had, I wouldn't have done your homework for you." Lu Shuang was so angry that his intestines were turning green. Shen Yiyan knocked her head. "Did you forget when you were feeling good just now?" "I was just joking." "Can't I just joke?" "Don't hit me again, or I'll flip out." Lu Shuang frowned and knocked his head. Only then did he feel better. Shen Yiyan laughed. "Flip out? How? Come, let's see if you can." He turned around and put all his weight on her. Amen, you're so heavy. She couldn't move at all. Someone knocked on the door. Lu Shuang was shocked. "Hurry up and get up." She didn't want anyone to see her. Shen Yiyan glanced at the door unhappily, but still let go of her. He put on his clothes and opened the door. Hua Zixing stood at the door and asked gently, "I'm not disturbing you, am I?" "What's wrong?" Shen Yiyan asked indifferently. "There's someone I want you to meet." "Are you free now?" Hua Zixing asked in a friendly tone. Shen Yiyan didn't want to be angry at her. She calmed herself down and became calm and reserved. Nodding, she said, "All right, let's go take a look. After that, I should head over to Formless side." Hua Zixing smiled, turned around, and headed for the 3rd floor. Shen Yiyan frowned when she saw Nan Gongyu. Nan Gongyu walked up to Shen Yiyan, nodded and said respectfully, "Hello, President." Shen Yiyan looked at Hua Zixing. "You want me to see her?" "She's not Nan Gongyu. I hid the real Nan Gongyu in the dungeon," Hua Zixing explained. Shinian sized up Nan Gongyu. Be it her height, physique, voice, appearance, manner of speech, or temperament, she was exactly the same as Nan Gongyu. Twins? No, it's the effect of the plastic surgery. When I made the agreement with Nan Gongyu, I had already secretly prepared for it. Nan Gongyu is actually very arrogant and can't control her emotions. It's easy for her to ruin things. I was worried that she would betray us one day, so I made arrangements beforehand. A strange look flashed across Shinian's eyes. It seemed like she had already prepared for it 3 years ago. If Hua Xixing was a man, she would probably be an outstanding politician. Her shrewdness and schemes were not as shallow as his. Fortunately, her heart belonged to someone else. Her goal was not to stay by his side, so she wouldn't cause any harm to Lu Shuang. Well done. If you need anything, just let me know, Shinian said in a low voice. All right. Then I won't take up any more of your time. Have a safe journey, bring her and have fun. Remember to pamper her and don't bully her, Hua Xixing said. When Lu Shuang was mentioned, Shinian revealed a smile as well. Her expression softened. She's the one bullying me now. How would I dare to bully her? If you scratch her once, she'll definitely scratch you twice. He. Lu Shuang is a very interesting person. Alright, hurry up and go find her. Hua Xixing pushed Shinian to the door. Shinian nodded at her as a farewell and went downstairs. Hua Xixing's eyes dimmed slightly. Do you like him? Nan Gongyu asked. No, how could that be possible? Hua Xixing denied. Xixing, I understand you. If you don't like him, you'll be very magnanimous and tell him not to bring that girl out. You'll analyze the pros and cons from the big picture. After all, he's bringing a girl out. Furthermore, there are many things happening around him, so he needs to be more cautious. But you don't. You use your generosity to encourage them to have fun, because what you want to hide is another side of you. Nan Gongyu analyzed. It's not what you think. Although many things are happening around Shinian, everything is under his control. He's developing according to what he wants. He's a very cautious person, and those on the other side are all his trusted aides. Furthermore, that girl is his assistant on the surface, so there's no problem for them to go out together. If they don't go out together, then there'll be a problem. I'm talking about your attitude and the way you handle it. I have my worries. My contract with him will expire in a year, and I yearn for my current position. This position has brought me and my family a lot of convenience. You've seen the Hua family's power as well. Can you deny that this is the result of me marrying Shinian? Are you yearning for this position, or yearning for that man? Xixing, you can't lie to me. You've fallen in love with him. Nan Gongyu was very certain. Because when she was explaining, she revealed an anxious expression. This did not match Hua Xixing's scheming and steadiness. I don't. You know about my body's condition as well. Hua Xixing explained. Indeed, I know your body's condition better than you. You can live a married life with him now, and there's a 50% chance of you giving birth to a child. You want to become his true wife. Zidan, only by facing your own feelings, can I help you. Nan Gongyu persuaded earnestly. Xiao Yu, I really don't have that kind of feelings for him. I'm only yearning for my current position. If one day, I realize that I've fallen in love with him, I'll tell you. Nan Gongyu held on to Hua Xixing's wrist. Humans have some biological reactions, and they can't lie. Let me ask you now, do you like him or not? Hua Xixing paused for a moment, then retracted her hand. She turned around, and was a little flustered. I like him. Nan Gongyu was certain. That man is perfect enough, and he's compatible with you. Xiao Yu, don't do anything. I know what I should do. Hua Zixing said solemnly, and furrowed her brows. And Nan Gongyu revealed a smile. It was a very faint smile, with a hint of sadness. Hua Zixing turned around to look at her, and then regained her happy expression. You've just arrived in a country, and there are a lot of good food in a country. Let's disguise ourselves, and I'll bring you out to eat. Nan Gongyu nodded. Chapter 598. Lu Shuang looked at Nan Gongyu by accident and met Nan Gongyu's eyes. He paused for a second, but before he could take a closer look, Shinian turned his head away. He lowered his voice and said to Lu Shuang, "That's not the real Nan Gongyu." What? Lu Shuang was surprised. But she seems to be the real Nan Gongyu. There is a girl named Xing Buhua, who looks exactly like Gu Lingqing. However, she has plastic surgery, but he is natural. Shen Yin explained. Wow, I've seen it for a long time. Lu Shuang thought of Baiye. If Gu Lingqing died, Baiye wouldn't be able to live. Either Xing Buhua is Gu Lingqing, or Baiye is avenging Gu Lingqing now. What if the revenge is over? Lu Shuang didn't dare to think about it anymore, and he felt very uncomfortable. Who killed Gu Lingqing? She changed the topic. I don't know. Wow, there are still things you don't know. Lu Shuang teased, trying to ignore the discomfort in his heart. So what if he was uncomfortable? There was nothing she could do. Shen Yin held her shoulders, pulled her into his arms, and looked down at her. Lu Shuang didn't dare to think about it anymore. It took all his strength and effort to deal with Shen Yin. What's wrong? There are a lot of things I don't know, such as who wants to kill you and who killed your mother. However, when I find out, I won't let them go. I'll make them wish they were dead, Shen Yin promised. Looking at Shen Yin's serious face, Lu Shuang suddenly had the illusion that they could be together forever. This Shen Yin was very manly. Since when did he become the type of man she liked? She was a little flustered and turned her face away. Shen Yin held her face and made her face him. What? Lu Shuang asked. Just keep me in your mind, Shen Yin said meaningfully. Lu Shuang was slightly surprised. He could read minds. Got it. Baiye's family. She received a call from Ling Shuang and knew the contents of the meeting. Ling Shun, do you know where the formless training base is? Baiye asked worriedly. Yes, it's in the East Forest area of the uninhabited island. Do you need me to send someone there? Ling Shui asked. Baiye shook his head. It's not appropriate for your people to appear in Shen Yin's area. It's also not appropriate for Ying's people to appear there. I know what to do. Just keep an eye on Xing Dongqing. I'll handle the rest. Okay. Also, madam, it's like this. The chief has been missing for a long time. Can we meet him? Everyone's morale is very low, Ling Shui said. There are other spies in the military area. According to the information I received, those two people have already mixed in with the trusted subordinates. It's too dangerous for Gu Lingqing to meet you now. Let me find the spy first. However, I'll pass on your thoughts, Baiye analyzed rationally. All right. I'll listen to your instructions. I'll continue to give them exams. Thank you for your hard work these days. It's my duty. I also hope to find the problem person as soon as possible. It's going to snow in a few days. Ask your people to be careful when they send it over, Baiye reminded her. Okay. Madam, take care of yourself too. Also, will you come to the military area during the new year? Ling Shui invited. Baiye shook her head. I have my own arrangements. Okay. Let's talk again. Ling Shui hung up the phone. Baiye called Alan. You haven't contacted me for a long time, Alan complained. Baiye also felt quite embarrassed. She always thought of contacting him when something happened. Are you still coming to a country? I still owe you a meal. Then I'll buy a plane ticket now, Alan said with a smile. Baiye paused. Really? I'll send someone to pick you up. You've already sent someone to pick me up. I'll definitely come. I don't want you to wait for too long. I'll tell you the time after I buy the plane ticket, Alan said. Baiye realized that he wasn't joking. Oh, okay. I'll contact you when I get there. Ha! Alan laughed. As if he knew everything, he said, now tell me the real reason why you're looking for me. Baiye sighed. I'm sorry for always troubling you. I'm willing to endure hardship. I'm afraid that you won't bother me. I've been waiting for your call for a long time, Alan said gently. You can call me whenever you want. If you need any help, I'll do my best. Because of you, I earned 100 million. I want to buy you a gift. You can't reject it. Tell me, what do you want? Baiye heard someone greeting him on the other side of the phone. He should be at the company. She walked out. He wouldn't really cross the ocean just because of a sentence from her, right? That 100 million is what you deserve. But if you want to give me a gift, I'll be too embarrassed to accept it. Let me think. Sing me a song. Baiye asked. Alan smiled happily. I hope to sing 10 songs for you. I wonder if I have the honor. That would be my honor, Baiye said with a smile. She was the most relaxed when she talked to Alan. He was like a saint, truly perfect. First, tell me why you're looking for me. I'll settle it first. I don't want to be disturbed and you won't be able to enjoy it. Alan got into the car and the chauffeur closed the door for him. He whispered to the chauffeur, to the airport. Baiye heard it. She had to treat him well this time. After all, she blew up one of his factories. She had the responsibility to find him a profitable project. Well, I want mercenaries. The best. Can you help me contact them? Baiye asked. No problem. I'll get them to contact you later. I'll hang up now. Alan hung up. Baiye turned around. Xing Buhua stood behind her. His face was dark and a little green. I'm not dead yet and you're already making me a cuckold. It's not a cuckold. Alan is my friend, Baiye explained. Xing Buhua walked towards her. I don't think there's real friendship between a man and a woman. If he didn't like you, he wouldn't be so nice to you. She remembered what Gu Lingqing said a long time ago. She went forward and hugged Xing Buhua. She said softly, I'll only be friends with him. I promise, definitely and definitely. Although Xing Buhua felt uncomfortable, she absolutely believed in her. In her heart, there was only Gu Lingqing. But what if Gu Lingqing died? I'm worried if you're not by my side. I think about you every day and can't do my work properly, Xing Buhua said in a low voice. Baiye smiled. I'm a pregnant woman now. Who would think about me? Chapter 599. Your wife is not young. You are thinking too much. How about I shave my head and say that I have become a monk? You can rest assured now, right? Baiye said helplessly. You don't have to become a monk. There's no need to become a monk. I'm the Minister of Foreign Affairs now. It's easy for me to let someone in. Besides, I'm the main interviewer. Xing Buhua smiled. Shiniyan doesn't want me to go, Baya said with concern. So you won't go if he doesn't want you to? Xing Buhua asked. I have brought you the answers. Baya found it funny and explained, I have dealt with Xing Dongqing and now I am dealing with the Minister of Education. The executive should know that I did it. If I enter the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, I think there will be a bloodbath. What are you afraid of? With me here, no one will dare to touch you. Xing Buhua said with certainty. Baya thought for a while and did not reply immediately. Let me think. I am not in a hurry. I have to wait for the written test and interview to enter the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. How about we go to the island for the new year? Let's go together. And ask Mom. Baya did not want to leave an old woman alone at home. During the new year. Xing Buhua paused and thought. What's wrong? Baya could see his concerns. We are not like before. The protection on the island is not strong and it is easy to be exposed, especially during the new year. The soldiers have to go home for the new year. If they don't go home, they will be homesick and their fighting power will decrease. It is best not to leave at this time. What do you think? Xing Buhua analyzed. Baya thought it made sense. Will you come during the new year? Of course. Baya nodded. It would be good to have him with her. This was the first time they had been together. She wanted to be with him. Her phone rang. It was a series of unfamiliar numbers. It was probably from the mercenaries. She picked it up immediately. Hello, Baya. I was introduced by Alan. My name is Kuan, the man said in fluent English. Hello, it's like this. I need you guys to help me protect someone. The situation is quite bad. The area where the other party is located cannot be invaded. Once discovered, you guys might be in danger. I need at least 5 people. Is that okay? Baya asked. Sure, give us the location and the photos of the people you need to protect. We'll depart now and arrive tonight, Kuan said confidently. Also, I'll pay for your expenses. Alan is just my friend, so you don't have to pay for it, Baya reminded. They didn't ask about the fee. She guessed that Alan was paying again. Is that so? Then you tell Alan. He paid for half a month. I'll hang up first. I'm coming over, Kuan said and hung up the phone. Baya had no choice but to call Alan. Kuan contacted you. Alan guessed. You don't have to pay for me. I have money. How much is it? I'll transfer it to you. You helped me earn 100 million. I'll give you some interest. You don't have to worry about it. If a friend is in trouble, I don't deserve to be your friend if I haggle over such a small amount. Alan said calmly. He stopped her from saying anything. The other meaning was that if she rejected his kindness, she wouldn't be behaving like a friend. Then just take it as a gift. Don't sing, Baya said helplessly. Alan laughed. His laughter came from the other end of the phone. Are you sure you don't want it? Xing Buhua's expression was terrible. He snatched Baya's phone and said, Yes, I'm her boyfriend. That's all. He hung up the phone. Baya was speechless. He's seducing you. I can see that, Xing Buhua explained and threw her phone on the table. Baya covered her mouth and smiled. Although his action was domineering, she felt warm in her heart. Xing Buhua looked at her and smiled. You're still smiling. It's fine if you smile at me, but you're not allowed to smile at others. Baya nodded. She sat on her seat and moved her stool. Xing Buhua sat opposite her tacitly. His knees clamped on hers as if he was punishing her. In fact, he just hoped that she only had him in her eyes. Baya broke into a smile. Xing Buhua was fascinated by her smile. He couldn't help but smile too. He called her silly, but his tone was extremely doting. They graded the papers together. Bai Yi looked at him slowly. It would be great if they worked together in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. They could see each other every day and advance and retreat together. Just like what she had hoped for a long time, to become a big tree like Gu Lingqing, instead of just hiding under his protection. Very soon, she and Gu Lingqing would live in bliss forever. She hoped that one day, Lu Shuang would also forgive her. Lu Shuang realized that the invisible training base was very far away. The car had been driving for 3 hours, but they still hadn't arrived. She was a little bored. She played games until she felt dizzy and wanted to vomit. She put away her phone and looked at Shen Yin. He closed his eyes and pretended to sleep. She didn't know if he had fallen asleep or not. The light of the setting sun fell on his handsome face. Under the sunlight, his skin was as transparent as jade. If he was a woman, he would probably be charming. She thought of her Debao. Her Debao's facial features gradually opened up. Half a year ago, he looked exactly like him. Over the past 6 months, he had grown double eyelids. His eyes were big like hers. They were big and his eyeballs were big, not as coquettish as this guy. However, other parts of his face were still exactly the same as him. Did this mean that he had inherited their strengths? Thinking of Debao, Lu Shuang's heart softened a little. When their Debao grew up, his looks would be rare. She wanted to find a daughter-in-law like Bai Yi or Hua Zixing, who was gentle, smart, and graceful. She couldn't find a daughter-in-law like her. That would drive her crazy. Thinking of this, Lu Shuang burst into laughter. Shen Yin opened his eyes and looked at her. He put his arm around her shoulders and pulled her into his arms. He said in a low voice, "What's so funny? Tell me. I'm thinking, what will our future daughter-in-law look like?" The moment Lu Shuang said it, he realized that he had said something wrong. Wasn't this a hint that their Debao was still alive? Fortunately, she saw that Shen Yin didn't understand the other meaning behind it. She went along with her and said, "You're right. Forget it. 2 tigers can't live on the same mountain." Shen Yin also chuckled. "So you also know that you're a tigress?" "I'm a tigress, and you're a bird." Lu Shuang continued his words. "Didn't you say that you're a tigress?" "I can say that about myself, but others can't say that about me." "Where's my EQ?" Lu Shuang said disdainfully. She pushed him away and looked out of the window. Shen Yin put his arm around her waist and leaned toward her. He whispered in her ear, "You sleep with a bird every day, so you're a little bird too." Lu Shuang's face turned red. Chapter 600. He hugged her, and she felt too hot. She twisted her waist and protested, changing the topic. "How much longer? We'll be at the end of the world if we keep driving." "Soon, we'll be at the dock soon." "Dock?" Lu Shuang looked at him in shock. "We're going to take a boat." "Yes, on an uninhabited island." D*MN, why do you people like to stay on the island? "It's far, hard to walk, and dangerous." Lu Shuang complained. "Arranging for the exercise on the island. First, it'll be away from the crowd, so it won't disturb and affect the people, and it won't hurt them. Second, it'll be in a closed environment, so the exercise won't be interrupted by many undesirable factors. Third, their actual combat environment will be worse than on the island. So, we'll make it worse during the exercise to train their ability to deal with problems, to make decisions, and to take action," Shen Yin explained. "They're amazing." Lu Shuang laughed. A long time ago, she wanted to marry a soldier. If it weren't for Shen Yin, she would have been a soldier's wife by now. Shen Yin looked at her and tapped her nose. Your future husband is their leader, so he's even more amazing. Shouldn't you admire me? Admire, you? Ha, I admire you so much. You can let go of me now. I can't breathe. Lu Shuang pried his hand away and hit his palm. Shen Yin hugged her again with a smile and kissed her face. Lu Shuang turned his head away in disgust and pushed his face. Shen Yin, you're too clingy. You don't like it? Shen Yin asked. Yes. She felt warm because of him. Oh. Shen Yin let go of her and sat next to him. He closed his eyes and looked cold. When did he become so easy to talk to? It felt a little abrupt. She leaned over to look at him and placed her hand on his forehead. Are you okay? The corners of Shen Yin's mouth turned up. He held her hand and squeezed it in his palm. You're just asking for it. The word "it" sounded too ambiguous when it came out of his mouth. Lu Shuang felt embarrassed and covered his mouth. You're talking nonsense. Shen Yin smiled happily and let her pull him into her arms. He leaned on her and looked at her with a doting smile in his eyes. Lu Shuang didn't know what she was thinking, but in that instant, she was mesmerized by his good looks. She released his lips, lowered her head, and kissed him on the forehead. Shen Yin was not satisfied with the kiss. He hooked the back of her head and led her closer to him and kissed her on the lips. Lu Shuang felt something soft on her lips. His red tongue and upper lip were wrapped around hers. He sucked, released, sucked again, and released again. This guy's kissing skills were so good. She wondered how many women he had trained with. She was in a bad mood. She must have been stupid to have kissed him. She was confused and flustered. Lu Shuang stepped back and looked out of the window anxiously. Shen Yin was dazed. She could make him fall in love with her so easily. He sat up and asked, "What's wrong?" Nothing." He could feel her emotions turning cold. He asked worriedly, "Did I hurt you just now? Why don't I let you do it?" Lu Shuang had a strange feeling. "No, we're in the car. Uncle is still here." Lu Shuang pointed at Colonel Ching. Colonel Ching was sitting in the front seat and got shot. In fact, he had also experienced stormy waves in his heart. Previously, the president had given him a feeling of nobility, a strategist, a maturity beyond his age, and a scheming mind. He had the boldness to kill the other party from 1,000 miles away with a wave of his hand. However, since the arrival of Lu Shuang, he felt that the president was not a god, but a hot-blooded man. He was only concealing his youthful charms and his shrewdness, and these were easily exposed in front of Lu Shuang. He was probably the only old official who saw him exposed. It was an honor, an honor. "I'm driving. I can't see anything," Colonel Ching said with a smile. Lu Shuang twitched the corner of his mouth. She felt that he was trying to expose himself. He must have seen everything. Lu Shuang said to Shen Yin. Shen Yin looked at him and smiled. He saw it. "So what? You're so annoying." Lu Shuang rolled his eyes. "Me or him?" "You." Shen Yin kissed her face and she pushed him. "Anyway, he hates me." "And?" Shen Yin grinned, lifted her chin, and kissed her. Lu Shuang dodged again. Why did she feel that he was even more clingy than half a year ago? He was even more clingy than DeBeo. Luckily, they arrived at the dock. Lu Shuang pointed outside. "Look, we're here." "Yeah." Shen Yin leaned his face against her and looked outside. "How many more hours will it take for us to reach the uninhabited island?" Lu Shuang asked. More than 5 hours. Lu Shuang, why the hell did she have to come? Couldn't she just ask him to give her everyone's information? Lu Shuang banged on the window and murmured, "It'll be midnight when we get there." Shen Yiyan laughed. "Is there anyone lazier than you?" "Yes, there are many." "Yes, you're more diligent than the person who hung the biscuit around his neck. Put on your down jacket, hat and scarf. It's cold outside, don't catch a cold." Shen Yiyan reminded her. Seeing that the car had stopped, she didn't argue with him anymore. She put on her down jacket, hat, scarf and gloves. The guard opened the car door. Lu Shuang got out of the car. The sea breeze seemed to be able to pass through her thick clothes and touch her skin. It was cold. She shrank her neck and stood aside, waiting for Shen Yiyan. Shen Yiyan got out of the car. He was wearing a long black trench coat, a white scarf and black leather gloves. Underneath, he was wearing a simple suit, vest and shirt. The moment he got out of the car, the atmosphere changed. She could feel the tension between the guards and they were all in their best condition. He walked on the red carpet under the guidance of the guards. On both sides of the red carpet, there were soldiers in green military uniforms with guns in their hands. All of them puffed out their chests, looking valiant and high-spirited. Shen Yiyan had a strong aura. He was noble, graceful, mature, reserved and steady. He was like a different person from when he was in the car just now. He walked towards the cruise ship. Lu Shuang immediately followed him. She was now a respectful little follower, Shen Yiyan's assistant. Shen Yiyan got on the ship and turned to look at her. She was not a pretentious person. She jumped on the ship without hesitation, looked at him and adjusted her clothes. Could it be that she shouldn't have jumped? He looked at her dumbfounded expression, but her eyes were lively. He had the urge to hug her. Chapter 601. Shen Yiyan walked to the first floor. The ship was very big. There were 3 floors on the top floor and 4 floors including the cabin. The ship was also full of soldiers. She saw cannons on the top floor and the head of the bed. It must be a modified warship. She followed Shen Yiyan into the first floor. Someone came to take off Shen Yiyan's coat and hung it on the hanger respectfully. As soon as she came in, she felt hot. She looked at Colonel Cheng who was standing next to her. No one helped him take off his clothes. He was also wrapped up tightly and did not take them off. She didn't dare to take it off. Shen Yiyan looked back at her. "Don't you feel hot?" "Yes," Lu Shuang said in a low voice. Shen Yiyan pointed at the hanger in the right corner. "Take off your coat and hang it there." "Okay." Lu Shuang immediately ran to the corner and took off her heavy down jacket. She felt much more relaxed and hung her hat, gloves, and scarf on the hanger. The clothes rack, which was originally tall and big, felt a little out of place after she hung her clothes on it. "Come here," Shen Yiyan urged. "Okay." She saw Shen Yiyan standing there waiting for her, so she ran to him. Colonel Cheng wiped his sweat. "Aren't you going to take off your coat?" Lu Shuang asked. Colonel Cheng smiled. "I didn't get the president's permission." Lu Shuang, Shen Yiyan heard it and looked at Colonel Cheng. "Colonel Cheng, you must be tired after such a long journey. You can go and have a rest. Assistant Lu will take care of me." "Yes." Colonel Cheng nodded and left. Lu Shuang scratched her head. Without Colonel Cheng, she was worried and didn't know what to do next. Shen Yiyan walked in front. When they arrived at the door, he said to the guard at the door, "Serve the dishes. Assistant Lu will eat with me. Prepare the dishes together." "Yes." The guard nodded to Lu Shuang. Lu Shuang had seen him before. Last week, when they were entertaining the Prime Minister, the head bodyguard was also there. She thought of something. Shen, she paused, looked at the guards around her, and nodded respectfully. She put her left hand on top of her right hand and pressed her hands on her abdomen. She said calmly, "This subordinate is afraid. You seem to have forgotten something important." Shen Yin pursed his lips. He couldn't help but smile. "Are you talking about the reward you received from me? Mr. President is wise." Lu Shuang felt that Shen Yin was quite smart. "Didn't you reject it?" Shen Yin teased her on purpose. Why didn't she remember rejecting him? She couldn't argue with him in front of so many of his subordinates. "After I went back, I thought about it again and again. Although I felt that it was my duty to protect the Prime Minister, I felt aggrieved if I got nothing. After thinking about it, I really shouldn't have rejected your kindness. After all, a soldier who doesn't want to be a general is not a good soldier, and an employee who doesn't want to be rewarded is not a good employee. Although you rewarded me, it was mainly a way to improve the morale of the soldiers. You told the soldiers that working for the president was worth risking our lives. I shouldn't have done it. I almost made a big mistake. Please reward me, President." Lu Shuang said seriously. Shen Yin couldn't control herself and grinned. He knew that she was eloquent and had a glib tongue. She was also very smart, but she was lazy. "Got it. I didn't forget. I have ordered it. It will be promulgated at the next meeting," Shen Yin said and walked to the table. A woman in a black suit with her hair in a bun pulled out a chair and stood aside after respectfully asking Shen Yin to sit down. Lu Shuang took the chair and sat opposite Shen Yin. The woman in the black suit glanced at her with displeasure, frowned, and signaled her to stand up. Lu Shuang stood up in confusion. Shen Yin turned back and said to the woman behind her, "I asked her to have dinner with us." "Yes." The woman nodded respectfully. Lu Shuang sat down carefully again and looked at the woman's face. The woman stood expressionlessly with her eyes down and didn't look at him again. Lu Shuang cleared his throat. He didn't know what she should do next. Shen Yin looked at him and explained, "You just came back from abroad, so you are not familiar with many people in China. She is Secretary Jiang's daughter, Jiang Jing. She is in charge of some internal affairs. You can call her Executive Jiang." Lu Shuang guessed that both Secretary Jiang and Executive Jiang were Shen Yin's favorites, so he looked at her with a commanding look just now. "Hello, Executive Jiang, I am Assistant Lu. N." Jiang Jing responded with a cold and aloof tone. "She belongs to me and will only listen to my orders in the future. Your father may not have time to tell you," Shen Yin said to Executive Jiang. She also meant that she had no right to order Lu Shuang around. Executive Jiang got it. He nodded respectfully and said softly, "I see." The guard captain walked in with the chef, and the delicious smell came to their nostrils. Lu Shuang's stomach was growling with hunger. The chef put 2 trays in front of him and Shen Yin and opened the lids. She saw that she had steak, vegetable salad, foie gras, apéritif, borscht, pasta and fruit. Then she looked at Shen Yin's. The steak was bigger than hers, the salad was more, and the fruit was better. In addition to the pasta, there was also a super big lobster. She suddenly felt that it was unfair. "Mr. President, do you know that there is a famous general in China named Hu Zubing?" Before Lu Shuang could say anything else, Shen Yin pursed her lips and couldn't help but laugh. She could see through her at a glance. She wanted to eat his lobster. When he goes to war, he lives and eats the same as the soldiers. Therefore, he is very loved by the soldiers. He is an admirable general who always wins, Lu Shuang said. Shen Yan still didn't change her expression. Seeing that he still didn't understand, Lu Shuang continued, only in a feudal society will people be divided into different classes. But this kind of unfairness will often speed up the demise of the feudal society. You are quite knowledgeable about politics. Shen Yan said meaningfully, continue. Lu Shuang was speechless. She was a little angry. She felt that Shen Yan was deliberately pretending not to understand. For example, she picked up a piece of lobster from Shen Yan's plate and bit into it. It was delicious. The meat was juicy and bouncy. She could tell that the lobster was cooked alive with a lot of soup. She swallowed it and continued, the kings in ancient times would let their subordinates taste the food first. Just like what I did just now, they thought it was quite high-end, but in fact, they just ate a table full of leftovers. Another example. Lu Shuang picked up another piece of lobster and put it into her mouth. She ate 2 pieces and smiled happily. They actually don't know that lobster can't be eaten with a lot of fruit. It will make them weak. And then? Shen Yan asked with a straight face. It's better to be happy together than to be happy alone. It's better to die together than to die alone, right? Lu Shuang said. Chapter 602. Lu Shuang looked at him in surprise. I also want to be a beloved monarch. What you said makes sense. This is your reward. Shen Yan said. Then she looked at the guard captain and said, just prepare the same food for me and Assistant Lu. Oh, yes. The guard captain nodded respectfully. For a moment, she thought he was so manly. He was not her type. After dinner, Lu Shuang was too full. But he couldn't go back to bed in front of so many soldiers. She was Shen Yan's assistant. She would follow him wherever he went. Shen Yan walked towards the door. Lu Shuang followed her. He entered the study. There were books on the shelf. He took out a forensic records and sat at his desk, flipping through it. Jiang Changxing came in with a cup of coffee and put it beside Shen Yan respectfully. You can leave now. Assistant Lu is here. Shen Yan said without raising her head. Jiang Changxing frowned slightly and looked at Lu Shuang. Lu Shuang looked at her unhappy eyes. He had a strange feeling and lowered his head. Jiang Changxing came to her and said coldly, the president likes to drink freshly brewed coffee. Can you make it? Lu Shuang nodded and then shook his head. She nodded because everyone knew how to make coffee. She shook her head because she felt that Jiang Changxing didn't want to leave. Besides, he was very unhappy that she took his job. She wanted to let her make the coffee. You nodded and shook your head. Can you make it or not? Jiang Changxing raised his voice slightly. Shen Yan's eyes were sharp. I don't want to drink coffee today. I have nothing to do tonight. Assistant Lu, make tea for me. Jiang Changxing's face turned pale. No matter how stupid he was, he could feel that the president was protecting Assistant Lu. She lowered her eyes and left the study. Lu Shuang locked the door and looked at Shen Yan. I don't think it's good for you to do this. It's not your style to say something like that, Shen Yan said, lowering his head to read his book. No. Seeing that he was ignoring her, Lu Shuang ran over and leaned on his book, not letting him read. She said, when I was in high school, there was a girl. My class teacher spoiled her very much and gave her the best. Everyone else wanted to study at night, but she didn't want it. Everyone else wanted to do exercises, but she didn't want it. She's sick and resting in the dormitory. The homeroom teacher will visit her. All of us hate her, understand? That woman is you, right? Shen Yan asked. Lu Shuang paused. How did you know? What do you have that I don't know? Shen Yan said with certainty. Her eyes were dark and burning as she looked at her. Lu Shuang had a guilty conscience. After all, she had too many things to hide. This is not the point I want to talk to you about. For example, if you embarrass the bodyguard because of me, the bodyguard will hate me. If Jiang Changxing loses his job because of me, he will panic about unemployment and his future. He will also hate me. You don't want everyone around you to hate me, do you? Lu Shuang said. She was reasonable. So what? I don't hate you. Other people are angry but dare not to say anything. You don't need to pay attention to them. After you marry me, they must listen to you. If you don't like them, you can directly fire them. Shen Yan said domineeringly. I don't think it's a good idea. High-key people will die quickly, dear. Lu Shuang had concerns. Shen Yan sneered and clamped her face. She said in a strange tone, why do I feel that you always attract the people at the top of power? The class teacher, Jiang Yi, me, who else? Of course not. Lu Shuang pushed Shen Yan's hand away. His face was full of pain. The class teacher takes care of me because he is my father's good friend. My father told him that Jiang Yi and I are just neighbors. It's not the kind of relationship you think. Lu Shuang said with a guilty conscience. Once upon a time, she wanted to treat Jiang Yi as a partner. Unfortunately, her plan was not as fast as the changes. Before she tried, she impulsively went back to China. If Jiang Yi had confessed to her earlier, perhaps, according to her character, she would have accepted him impulsively. Only as a neighbor, right? Can a neighbor travel thousands of miles to find you? Shen Yan didn't believe it at all. She raised the corner of her mouth, which made Lu Shuang feel gloomy. You are so annoying. Lu Shuang turned around and ignored her unhappily. She stood in front of the bookshelf and looked at the many books in it. Every successful person had something in common. For example, there were many books. She remembered that Gu Lingqing's office also had a lot of books. Unfortunately, she didn't expect that his life would be so short. If being smart meant dying early, she'd better be stupid. Her phone rang. She was about to answer it when Shen Yan snatched it away. When Shen Yan saw the caller ID, her eyes turned cold like an icehouse. Speak of the devil. He really came. Who is it? Lu Shuang craned his head to have a look. Shen Yan didn't give him a chance. She answered the phone, turned around, and walked to her desk. She said coldly, "What's the matter?" Jiang Yi heard Shen Yan's voice. He paused for a moment and asked kindly, "Is Lu Shuang around?" Shen Yan looked at Lu Shuang, who craned his head to look around. Her eyes were shining. She just took a shower and is lying on the bed now. She is too tired. Tell me what's the matter. I'll tell her when she wakes up. Lu Shuang was speechless. She felt that her Prince Charming had flown away. When Shen Yan was hateful, she was not just any ordinary hateful person. She said she was too tired, lying on the bed, and had just taken a shower. These were all some kind of suggestive description. She was unhappy, mainly because it was too embarrassing. What would others think of her? She shouted at Shen Yan, the crayfish was delicious. Shen Yan, who are you talking to on the phone? Shen Yan's face darkened. She stared at Lu Shuang. If her eyes were blades, her throat would have been slit by now. Jiang Yi laughed. So she didn't sleep. It seems that she didn't take a shower either. Judging from her energetic voice, she shouldn't be tired. Really? Then I should continue to sleep with her, lest someone misunderstands if I let her out. Shen Yan said coldly. I remember that you married Hua Zixing, right? Jiang Yi asked. Shen Yiyan pursed her lips. Her eyes were fixed on Lu Shuang's face. He was too impulsive and exposed his shortcomings. He couldn't help it. He couldn't calm down when it came to her. He lacked thinking. Do you think I don't know what your motive is? Don't have any ideas about her. She's innocent. Come at me if you dare. I think you've misunderstood. I'm not involved in the feud between you and Jiang Xingyu. I like her. When I fell in love with her, I didn't know about her relationship with you. Jiang Yi said sincerely. Chapter 603. Shen Yiyan, if I had the intention to go against you, I would have exposed De Bao or told Jiang Xingyu, but I didn't. So, don't doubt my sincerity. I don't want to hurt her. I like her, maybe more than you can imagine. I don't fall for anyone easily, but she made me fall for her. I want to be with her, love her, protect her, and give her happiness. If you really like her, you should let go. You know that the two of you are not suitable for each other. I believe that she is not someone who is willing to be the woman behind someone else's back. Jiang Yi said it with confidence and maturity. Perhaps it was because of his experience, it was convincing. Shen Yiyan gritted her teeth. Her eyes were as deep as a bottomless lake, and her breath was even colder. How long have you known each other? It's only been half a year. I've known her for more than 15 years. Do you think it's interesting? Love has nothing to do with the length of time you've known each other. Some people can be together for a lifetime but never fall in love with each other. Some people can only be seen for 10,000 years. I believe that she likes me too. Please give her the phone. Jiang Yi said calmly. Shen Yiyan sneered. You dream on. She won't be using this number anymore. You don't have to call her anymore. Shen Yiyan was so angry that he hung up the phone and locked Lu Shuang's eyes. Lu Shuang felt that his gaze was murderous. She shivered and had a bad feeling. He walked towards her with heavy steps, as if he was shrouded in black smoke. Wherever he went, everything would become barren. It was the first time that Lu Shuang saw Shen Yiyan so angry. She took a few steps back and retreated to the door. This was Shen Yiyan's territory. Where could she retreat to? Even if she ran, she couldn't run away from him. Do you want some tea? Lu Shuang looked around and asked with sparkling eyes. Shen Yiyan walked in front of her and stretched out his hand. Lu Shuang thought that he was going to hit her and turned her face away. He held the side of her head and locked his eyes on her. Do you like Jiang Yi? No, who said that? Why would I like him? He's an uncle. Lu Shuang denied immediately. Shen Yiyan looked into her eyes. Lu Shuang frowned and told herself that she couldn't feel guilty. She looked like she was going to eat her. She had a good impression of Jiang Yi, but not to the extent of liking him. Then why did you expose me just now? Shen Yiyan continued to ask. I don't know. Lu Shuang feigned ignorance and slipped under his armpit. I don't know. Lu Shuang said that. I don't know. Shen Yiyan didn't know. At that time, she really didn't think that way. She just felt that Shen Yiyan's words made her feel embarrassed, so she directly refuted him and didn't think much about it. I don't know, Lu Shuang said. He tightened his grip on her hand, clearly dissatisfied with the answer, as if he wanted to break her hand. Lu Shuang felt the pain. Shen Yiyan, let go. It hurts. Pain will teach you a lesson. Shen Yiyan said sternly, I won't allow you to contact him again, not even by phone. I'll give you a new number when we get back. You don't need to use this number anymore. It's fine if you don't need it. Do I have the right and freedom? Let go of me, my hand is really going to break. Lu Shuang's face was pale from the pain. He let go of her hand and returned to his seat. He was still angry and smashed the coffee cup in his hand on the ground. There was a loud bang, and the killing power was extremely great. Lu Shuang was afraid of Shen Yin. He was so gloomy. Being in the king's company was like being with a tiger. He was fine just now. But now, he was furious. It was better for her to leave. After all, a man's heart was like the moon in the water. It was not reliable. Especially a man like Shen Yin, who was so high and mighty. When he liked her, he would keep her by his side and dote on her. But when he didn't like her, he would kill her. Shen Yin saw that she was standing still and far away from him. He ordered coldly, "Clean up the floor. You can leave now." "I can leave now." Lu Shuang did not want to face him now. She did not wait for Shen Yin to speak. She saw his sharp gaze and hurried out. Seeing that Executive Jiang was still there, she smiled and said, "The president's blanket is on the floor. Please go and clean it up." The president said that I can leave now. "I'll leave first." Executive Jiang frowned. Because the room was made of titanium alloy and soundproof, no one outside could hear what was going on inside. Therefore, Executive Jiang did not know what was going on inside. However, she did not like Lu Shuang very much. He was too careless. She pushed the door open and saw the broken glass on the floor, as well as the president's livid face. The room was filled with low pressure. It was very quiet, just like the calm before a storm. She did not dare to say anything. She took a cloth and kneeled on the floor to wipe it. Shen Yin clenched his fists tightly. He looked at the book, but he could not read a single word. He stood up and walked out. Lu Shuang went out. She did not know where he was going, but she entered the room next door. The room next door seemed to be a conference room. It was empty except for a sofa. She lay on the sofa to rest and looked at the white ceiling. Actually, she should have kept a low profile. She should not have made Shen Yin angry. Why could she not control her mouth and temper? In the past, she had her parents to protect her. She could speak without thinking. But now, she really could not do that anymore. She felt a little sad and her heart ached. She closed her eyes. When she went to Formless and saw the name list of their members, she would find the murderer who killed her mother and let Shen Yin bring him to justice. Then, she would leave. She fell asleep in a daze. She did not know how long she slept. She heard hurried footsteps outside and was woken up. She had a headache. She turned over and continued to sleep. The door was pushed open. "Sir, there is no one here." She heard the voice of a soldier, followed by the sound of the door closing. She got up and glanced at the door. Were they looking for someone? Sigh. Anyway, it was none of her business. She continued to lie down and sleep. After some time, the door was pushed open again. 3 soldiers ran in. 2 of them ran to her and said in surprise, "Sir, we found her." She heard the voices outside. "Found her, found her, found her." Were they looking for her? Lu Shuang sat up in confusion. Because he had slept, his face was red and he looked confused. What happened? "Assistant Lu, we have been looking for you for 3 hours. The president is angry," a soldier reported. "Looking for me? Why are you looking for me? I have been sleeping here all this time." Lu Shuang scratched his head. He was in a daze. After a while, Shen Yin came in. His face was frighteningly gloomy. He said sternly, "Get out, all of you." "Hello, I am Qin Tang Tang. You can follow me on WeChat. Chapter 604. Lu Shuang saw his red eyes and bad temper, so he hurried to leave. Although he didn't know where he was going, he knew it was right to leave. Shen Yiyan grabbed her hand and flung her hard. Lu Shuang didn't stand still and fell to the ground. She looked at him in confusion and was furious. She was about to lose her temper, but then she thought about it again. What happened to keeping a low profile? She resisted the urge and climbed up alone. She pursed her lips and looked at Shen Yiyan's sharp eyes that looked like he wanted to devour her. Is it fun? Shen Yiyan said sternly. Lu Shuang rolled his eyes and looked at the air beside him. When Shen Yiyan saw her unruly look, he became even more furious. Not being able to find her, he was about to go crazy. His entire nerves were stretched taut. He was anxious, worried, panicked, and angry. All of these emotions combined together, making him about to explode. He couldn't bear to lose her again. Say something. Shen Yiyan ordered. His chest was heaving violently because of his anger. What do you want me to say? I'm not playing. What is playing? What is fun? It's ridiculous. Lu Shuang still couldn't suppress his anger. So, you purposely disappeared, purposely made me anxious, purposely hid, purposely. Shen Yiyan judged, flames leaping in his eyes, burning fiercely. What do you mean by disappearing on purpose? What do you mean by making you anxious? What do you mean by hiding? This is your ship. Can I disappear? Can I hide? You asked me to go out. Fine, I'll go out. But where can I go? So, I chose the room closest to your study to sleep. My phone was confiscated. I have no friends here and no one to talk to. What else can I do except sleep? You are angry one moment and angry the next. I didn't do anything wrong. Why are you always angry at me? What did I do wrong? Because of you, my mother died. Because of you, I don't have a home. Because of you, I became so lonely and miserable. Why are you angry at me? What right do you have to be angry at me? Lu Shuang retorted angrily. She thought of her mother, her father, and the past. There were some things that she didn't want to think about. Thinking about it would make her sad. But sometimes, when she thought about it, it was really sad. If Shen Yiyan hadn't pestered her and used her parents to threaten her, she wouldn't have had to alienate her parents and hurt their feelings. Ultimately, Shen Yiyan was also responsible for her mother's death. She lived a peaceful life by herself. How could she have made such an enemy? Lu Shuang turned around. Tears flowed out of his eyes. He wiped his tears, but they were still flowing. No matter how hard he wiped them, they still flowed. So, he simply stopped wiping them. What was the point of crying? Shen Yiyan had been bullying her since she was young. Seeing her crying, Shen Yiyan's heart ached. The hostility in her gradually disappeared. Jiang Yi said that he liked her, and it didn't seem like he was lying. He didn't care about others, and he didn't think that they could surpass him. Even if they did, he would make them die miserably. But he was afraid of Jiang Yi. Other than his outstanding looks, mature and steady temperament, he also had a sage-like demeanor. This was something that he had never seen in others. He was a mysterious, sophisticated, and unfathomable man. He was really afraid that she would be snatched away. Compared to Jiang Ye's carefree attitude, he indeed had too many concerns. The less confident he was, the angrier his temper became. He knew that he shouldn't be, but he couldn't control it. Facing her, he couldn't be rational, and his emotions were too volatile. He hugged her from behind. Lu Shuang twisted his waist to resist. He buried his head in the crook of her neck and took a deep breath. Even though she used the same shampoo and shower gel as him, he felt that she smelled especially good. He didn't say anything. "What are you doing? Weren't you angry at me just now?" Lu Shuang's tone was a little resentful. "I thought you left. I couldn't find you anywhere." Shen Yi's voice was slightly choked. "Where can I go? This is the boat. You were the one who asked me to go out. I don't know where to go. You even confiscated my phone. It's all your fault." Lu Shuang looked at him. She was the one who should be wronged, okay? She saw that Shen Yi's eyes were red and her heart trembled. Was he going to cry too? From what she remembered, he didn't seem to have cried before. Seeing him like this gave her a strange feeling. It was sour and there was an indescribable emotion. Maybe it was heartache. She didn't want to argue with him anymore. There were more important things to do. She turned around and faced him. "Don't be angry, okay? It was my fault for exposing you on the phone. I always spoke without thinking. You know that. I'll change next time. I'll try my best." Shen Yi cupped her face and covered her lips with his cold lips. He kissed her deeply and said in a low voice, "Don't leave me, no matter what happens." Lu Shuang paused. She had made up her mind to leave before she went to bed. She didn't have time to answer him. Shen Yi's eyes turned cold again. Even the temperature of his palms was freezing. "You still want to leave, right? You came back to use me to take revenge. Now that you're done, you're ready to leave, right?" Lu Shuang felt that he was angry again. He hurriedly said, "Not really." "Then what is it?" Shen Yin asked. Her temper was almost worn out by Shen Yin. "When you treat me well, I don't want to leave. When you treat me badly, I want to leave immediately." Shen Yin was stunned. This was indeed in line with Lu Shuang's character. "Anyway, you are not allowed to leave in the future. If you run away again, I promise I will break your legs and scratch your face after I catch you." "You can try it if you don't believe me," Shen Yin warned. He was actually just scaring her. He knew that she loved beauty and was afraid of pain. If she really left, he would die of heartache. "Don't you like me?" Lu Shuang thought about it and felt a little scared. "I feel a little like a pervert. So don't run away," Shen Yin said in a low voice. Lu Shuang didn't want to stare at this problem. He rubbed his stomach and changed the topic. "Shen Yin, I'm hungry. Do you have supper?" Shen Yin stared at her. Lu Shuang was really afraid of him when he was angry. She stood on tiptoe and kissed his lips. "Only when you are full will you have the strength to work. Do you still want it?" Shen Yin held her waist, pulled her to his side and hugged her tightly. She was almost out of breath. Pushing his shoulders, she realized that he would be angry, so she put her arms around the back of his neck and forced a smile. "You're still angry? Then I'm going to suffer for a few days. It won't be hard for you. Go back to the room first. I will ask someone to send it to your room later," Shen Yin said in a hoarse voice. Lu Shuang smiled and pinched her face. "You scared me to death just now. You are still so cute now. You are so pitiful that no one loves you," Shen Yin said in a strange tone. "Of course not. I don't think 2 trains can fit the one who loves you," Lu Shuang flattered. Chapter 605. Got it. Let go of me first. If we stay here longer, your subordinates will think too much. When you go out later, you have to pretend that you're still angry at me. Then, don't let them find out about our relationship, Lu Shuang reminded and let go. Shen Yiyan was still hugging her. The people outside are all my trusted aides. He's just a trusted aide. Many people died because of them. It's true. I've seen a lot of similar news about high-ranking officials being removed from their positions. They were all reported by their trusted aides, Lu Shuang said sincerely. The more she didn't want others to know about their relationship, the more he wanted to announce it to the world. There's something I need to tell you. Jiang Yi knows that Debao is my child. Based on my relationship with Jiang Xingyu, who knows when they'll capture Debao to threaten me. So, I've already transferred Debao. It's moved. You know where Debao is. Lu Shuang opened his eyes wide in shock. What do you think? Shen Yiyan asked. Lu Shuang was speechless. She had a bad feeling about this. Her mind exploded. Now that Shen Yiyan had found Debao, it would be difficult for her to escape in the future. What should she do now? When Shen Yiyan saw how stunned she was, her eyes darkened. She let go of her hand and walked outside with a livid face. Lu Shuang's face was pale as he jogged behind him. There was no need to pretend. Everyone knew that the president was very angry. Assistant Lu was going to be unlucky. Colonel Qing also noticed that something was wrong. He pulled Lu Shuang aside and asked in a low voice, "What did you do to make the president angry?" "I think I'm the one who should be angry. F***ck, my Debao." Lu Shuang wanted to cry but had no tears. "What Debao? Is it painted on your face?" "There are other moisturizers on the ship." Colonel Qing was puzzled. Lu Shuang realized that he had said something wrong. It was so tiring to be a human and not be able to speak freely. "I have other things, it's fine. Come with me, I've arranged a room for you. Talk to the president later." "This is the first time I've seen him so angry," Colonel Qing reminded. "Okay." Lu Shuang followed Colonel Qing to the top floor and entered a room. Colonel Qing left and closed the door for her. She sat on the sofa, shaking her feet. She was worried, but there was nothing she could do. From the beginning to the end, she was a person without the strength to truss a chicken. She hated herself for not being capable. If only she could be like Baiya, who could do whatever she wanted. That would be great. With a creak, Lu Shuang looked in the direction of the voice. A secret door was opened and Shen Yiyan walked in. "Where did you take Debao to?" "I'm a little worried about him," Lu Shuang said worriedly. "Don't worry, he's in a safe place. After I marry you a year later, I'll let him return to my parents' side," Shen Yiyan said in a low voice. The implication was that if she left, she would never see Debao again. However, she couldn't show any objection. "How long will it take for us to reach the shore?" Lu Shuang asked. "An hour." "Okay," she answered with flagging interest. Knowing that Debao was in Shen Yiyan's hands, she was not in a good mood. "What's wrong?" Shen Yiyan asked coldly. His eyes were emitting cold light, and his heart was twitching. Although he asked why, in fact, he could guess what Lu Shuang was thinking now. Because he could guess it, he felt very uncomfortable. "I want to see Debao," Lu Shuang said. Shen Yiyan smiled and came to her. She put her hands on both sides of her body and stared at her. "For Debao's safety, we can't see him for the time being. Isn't your friend the same?" Gu Lingqing hid their child. "If you really want a child, we can prepare for pregnancy now. When we get married, we can also hold Xiaobao. What do you think?" "Don't. It's also dangerous, okay?" She pointed at her head. "Are you confused here?" "Yes, I am." Do you remember what she said to me in the meeting room just now? Didn't she ask me if I wanted it? I want it, he said, sitting next to her and looking at her with a devilish charm. Lu Shuang paused, and the anger in the room became very strange. Now, I haven't eaten yet. They are going to do it. It will take at least half an hour. There is still time. Eating after exercise will make your appetite better, Shen Yan said coldly. She also felt cold, but she didn't move. How long do you need to think about it? Shen Yan asked coldly and looked at her with drooping eyes. There was no lust in his eyes. Lu Shuang felt that he couldn't avoid it, so he sat on his knees and put his arms around the back of his neck, but he didn't want to do it at all. Shen Yan, can we do it tomorrow? Lu Shuang asked politely. Shen Yan sneered. What do you think? Tomorrow is another day, and there are other things to do tomorrow. Lu Shuang lowered his eyes in disappointment. Shen Yan reached out and brushed her hair behind her head. Why? You keep lying to me. You know that I know where Dabao is, and you feel that you can't escape, so you are sad. Lu Shuang frowned slightly and looked at him in panic. Shen Yan smiled. His coquettish eyes were still beautiful, but because of his cold pupils, there was a hint of coldness. It's not like that, Lu Shuang said. She was afraid that he would ask what it was like. She kissed his lips to prevent him from asking. Shen Yan didn't respond to her, nor did he say anything. He looked at her coldly, as if he was an emotionless statue. She continued to kiss him, and her red tongue entered his mouth, mixing with his cool breath. He still didn't respond. She felt a little defeated. Every time he flirted with her, she would easily lose her bottom line. He was much harder to flirt with than she was. Shen Yan, you don't want it? Lu Shuang asked. Continue. He said these two words simply. She took a deep breath and adjusted her mood. She undid his tie, the buttons on his suit, and the 2 buttons on his shirt collar. She kissed his Adam's apple. He looked down at her coldly. She observed his expression. He didn't seem to be in love at all. She unbuttoned his shirt, hugged his back, and stopped moving. Shen Yan, I'm very bored when you do this. Give me a response. How should I respond? Kiss you, or do I want you? Do you want it? Shen Yan asked in return. Don't you know whether I want it or not? Lu Shuang said ambiguously. His large palm slid down the waist of her pants. She didn't struggle and looked at him awkwardly. He scoffed. How many more lies do you have? Come, say it all at once. She couldn't say it clearly. She kissed his ear and said softly, I want it, really. He looked at her, trying to determine if she was telling the truth. Lu Shuang blushed. He grabbed his arm and cleared his throat. Can you feel it? Chapter 606. It was more suitable for her to let Shen Yan take the initiative. She didn't want to be questioned again, so she unbuckled his belt, unzipped it and let him go. He easily took off her clothes, held her waist, and lifted her up. Lu Shuang gasped and looked at Shen Yan, noticing that his eyes were still cold. Things were already like this. How long was this fellow going to keep his temper? She twisted her waist and stared at his expression. Be more serious, you are too dry. Shen Yan frowned. Lu Shuang, then don't be angry. It is just a small matter, right? Lu Shuang tried to please her. You just need to be obedient every day. Shen Yan said with a deep voice, I want you to take off the ring. Will you do it or not? It is very painful to give birth to a child, and my figure will be out of shape. I only want Dabao. Lu Shuang refused in a roundabout way. I want a few children. One is too lonely and I am under too much pressure. So, you have to take off the ring. Shen Yan said domineeringly. You are not the one who will be in pain. Lu Shuang resisted. I also want to give birth to a child for you. Except for a few things of principle, I can do whatever you want. Shen Yan promised. Lu Shuang knew that he couldn't avoid this topic. Shen Yan must be paranoid. Then when we get married, I'll give birth to a child for you. I'm serious, if I can't do it, I'll be disfigured. That should be fine, right? I don't think it's appropriate to give birth now. You have a beautiful assistant by your side, and the beautiful assistant doesn't have a husband, but she's pregnant. Other people will guess that it is you. Lu Shuang tried to reason with her. Anyway, it was still a problem to get married. Where did this beautiful assistant come from? Shen Yan asked. Lu Shuang paused for a moment. What he meant was that she was not a beauty. She was really, really angry. She stood up, but he pressed her back down again. She snorted softly and looked at him with furrowed brows. Fine, you're a beauty, okay. Shen Yan corrected herself. So, you're not angry anymore? Lu Shuang asked. First, you are not allowed to contact Jiang Yi, let alone meet him, Shen Yan requested. Sure, we haven't known each other for that long anyway. She had no choice but to agree. Second, you are not allowed to leave me. Lu Shuang nodded and agreed. Thirdly, when I first met you, you were already not good-looking. I don't care about that. So, I want to have at least 2 children in the future. 2 children that truly belong to the two of us, like you and me. Shen Yan's voice softened. Which part of me doesn't have a good figure or looks? Lu Shuang frowned. I feel like I'm being suppressed every day when I'm with you. My confidence is almost gone. You only need me. There's more. Lu Shuang interrupted him. Last time, you said that I can have a wish. There's no more 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Can I? Joe, stop seducing men. Be more pure. God has destined us to be together. You're thinking too much. It's just your imagination. Shen Yan raised her voice. Lu Shuang said. You can't have Joe. I feel that you've become smaller, really. Shen Yan knocked her head. I told you to be more pure. You'll forget it soon. Got it. Then I won't do it anymore. Lu Shuang immediately climbed up the pole. Shen Yan gritted her teeth. She hugged her, turned around, and put her on the sofa. Then, she pressed her legs on top of her head. She felt that this position was too embarrassing. She protested, Shen Yan. I'm here, he said, and picked up the tie on the sofa. She sensed danger and wanted to get down, but he was too strong. She couldn't break free. Shen Yan, you can't play like this. How? Let me take a good look at you. Shen Yan said hoarsely. Don't. She didn't want to. Basically, her protest was useless. To a certain extent, she really felt that Shen Yan's skills were not bad. Although she was embarrassed, she felt that she couldn't lie to herself or him. Shen Yan was very satisfied with her reaction. But, he didn't give it to her. Lu Shuang was annoyed. Shen Yan, you can't be so bad. Don't women love bad men? He smiled wickedly. Then hurry up. Hurry up. She frowned and her gaze became unfocused. Shen Yan was bad. He was bad to the core. She had to guard against him next time. Then, are you still leaving? No, I'm going to get angry if you do this again. She was serious. She would really get angry, but it was more like torture than what he was doing. Shen Yin smiled, and his abs moved closer to hers. Lu Shuang let out a long breath. Do you like it? Shen Yin asked ambiguously. Lu Shuang pursed his lips and looked at him, but he didn't say anything. Then I'm going out. He pretended to leave. I like it. Lu Shuang said helplessly. She hadn't tried other men, but Shen Yin's skills must have been learned from Nyonyo. He untied his tie and finally put her down. When it was over, the ship had docked. Lu Shuang lay on the bed and didn't want to move. His legs were sore. Shen Yin went to take a shower. She didn't want to take a shower. She turned around and looked at the door with her back facing the bathroom. When she heard the door open, she said, "Where's my supper? Didn't you say that it would be served in half an hour? The ship has docked, but there's still no supper." Shen Yin laughed. Lu Shuang glared at him. It was all this guy's fault for being crazy today. You're still laughing. I think you should be full. Haven't you fed enough? Shen Yin smiled and walked over. She didn't want to talk to him anymore, so she covered her face with the quilt. He pulled the quilt down and kissed her forehead. Lazy pig, go take a shower. I don't want to take a shower. Lu Shuang protested. Then do you still want supper? Shen Yin asked gently. Lu Shuang thought for a while. She still had to wake up for supper. She didn't have the energy to eat now. I don't want to eat either. Are we going to go ashore? Look at you, can you still walk? Shen Yin asked. Lu Shuang rolled his eyes at him again. Shen Yin pinched her nose lovingly. Sleep on the bed today and go ashore tomorrow. Okay. She closed her eyes to rest. Shen Yin returned to his room and opened the door. Colonel Ching was standing respectfully outside the door. When he saw Shen Yin, he nodded. Is supper ready? Shen Yin asked. Yes, it's in the kitchen now. Should I bring it over? Colonel Ching asked. No need to bring it over. We're not going ashore today. You can have supper. You've worked hard today. Get up a little later tomorrow. Su Jiran ordered. Yes. Thank you, Mr. President. Shen Yin patted Colonel Cheng's shoulder. She's still a child. Please bear with her. Understood. Colonel Cheng nodded. Then I'll go back to work. Shen Yin nodded, closed the door, and returned to Lu Shuang's room. She had fallen asleep, like a little pig. He slept next to her and let her pillow on his arm. Lu Shuang found a comfortable position in his arms and continued to sleep. Chapter 607. Shen Yin was faster than him and pulled open the black curtains. Lu Shuang sat up and found that the wall was made of glass. He could see the coast when he pulled it open. What happened? Lu Shuang asked. Shen Yin frowned and made a call. He said coldly, "Do you know what happened? The invisible force set up a fake thunder ray this afternoon. I don't know why it suddenly exploded. Maybe an animal accidentally stepped on it," Colonel Ching reported. Check the surveillance. There should be surveillance at the place where the fake thunder ray was set up, right? Shen Yin asked. In order to make the maneuver more realistic and to prevent the soldiers from finding the fake thunder ray according to the surveillance, the maneuver tomorrow will be monitored by unmanned cameras. They have already sent someone to the scene to check the situation. That's all for now. Shen Yin's eyes turned solemn. He hung up the phone, closed the curtains, and looked at Lu Shuang. You woke up in shock. Why was there a bomb? Lu Shuang was surprised. In a real battle, the enemy will bury landmines in the ground. As long as one steps on them, basically no one will survive. In a drill, in order to ensure the safety of the soldiers and to get closer to the display, they will prepare imitation lightning bolts. Simply put, it's an air mine. It won't explode people, but it won't explode, but it will make a loud noise, Shen Yan explained. Did someone step on it just now? Shen Yan smiled and said softly, it could be an animal. There are wolves, bears, and other small beasts on the island. Isn't it very dangerous? Lu Shuang was a little scared. She used to watch movies and often saw a group of people go to a deserted island or a remote and strange place to play. Basically, 90% of the people would die. She thought that those people were really stupid. It would be better to stay at home and watch movies. Why did they go to such a dangerous place? The soldiers are armed with guns. Besides, they all know martial arts. These beasts are no match for them. Shen Yan sat on the bed. Can I not go to the island tomorrow? Can you bring everyone's information to the boat? Lu Shuang asked. You're the safest when you're with me. I have a schedule to come here, so I have to attend. Don't worry, the island is full of my people. As long as I'm alive, you'll be fine, Shen Yan promised. Lu Shuang nodded. Tomorrow, she would know who the person who wanted to kill her was. Once she found that person, she would be safe from now on. She wouldn't have to worry about being afraid. Are you still sleeping? Let's sleep. Shen Yan lifted the quilt and lay on the bed. Lu Shuang couldn't fall asleep and looked at him. He did not sleep either. He kept his eyes open, thinking. Are you worried that it's not the work of a wild beast? If it's a human, it'll be terrifying, Lu Shuang said worriedly. Shen Yan looked at her. Actually, what is it? Lu Shuang asked. Shen Yan sat up and made a call. 1 ring, 2 rings, 3 rings, 4 rings, 5 rings. Hello. Baiya's hoarse voice came from the other end of the phone. Did you send someone to the uninhabited island? Shen Yan asked directly. Baiya paused and replied, yes, I'm worried about your people. I need to ensure Lu Shuang's safety. Your people stepped on the mine as soon as they arrived. Send me the photos of your people. Baiya was silent. I know. If you want Lu Shuang to be safe, you'd better not touch my people. I know. If it's not necessary, don't let your people act rashly, Shen Yan said and hung up the phone. Lu Shuang vaguely heard something. He sat up and said, I heard my name. Baiya sent someone to the island to protect you. She's quite knowledgeable about you, Shen Yan said. Lu Shuang looked down and fell on the bed. He stared blankly at the air for a while and turned around with his back facing Shen Yan. He said in a low voice, every time I think of her, I'll think of my mother's death. What she did was not what a friend should do. At least, she should have told me about your whereabouts. She shouldn't have lied to me along with all of you. I asked her to do it. I promised her that I wouldn't disturb your life. I just want to know that you're safe. She didn't tell you because she was afraid that you'd reject her. She could tell that I like you, so she wanted to matchmake us, Shen Yan explained. It's different. She's my friend, not yours. I might forgive her, but I won't be friends with her anymore. I won't do it again, Lu Shuang said softly. He said it to himself. She was so hurt when she was betrayed by her friend. Shen Yan hugged Lu Shuang's waist and pulled him into her arms. I'm enough for you. Lu Shuang didn't say anything else. His thoughts ran wild and he was worried. After thinking for an hour or two, his pajamas attacked him. When it was almost dawn, he fell asleep again. After some time, she woke up. Light shone through the gap of the curtains. It was very bright. She looked to her side. Shen Yin was no longer there. She put on a blanket and opened the curtains. Outside, there were many soldiers. They were orderly and disciplined, standing on both sides. In the middle, there were more than 10 men wearing masks. Lu Shuang recognized them. They were Shen Yin's formless clothes. Shen Yin was also standing on the dock, talking to one of the men. This man was also wearing formless clothes, but he didn't cover his face. If the people who wanted to kill her were among those formless clothes, wouldn't it be faster for her to stand here and look at them? Lu Shuang quickly closed the curtains. He looked outside through a gap. There was a knock on the door. Lu Shuang went to open the door. Colonel Cheng stood at the door respectfully. The president asked you to get dressed and go to the dining room for dinner. Oh, I got it. Thank you. Lu Shuang closed the door and took out the suitcase Shen Yin had prepared in advance. He took out a black suit, tied up his hair simply, and only applied moisturizer. He didn't even put on any makeup. He went out to the dining room. Shen Yin was already in the dining room. He was alone. Executive Jiang was not there. There was a thick stack of documents in his hand. Come over and take a look. Who do you know? All the information is here. As soon as Lu Shuang heard that it was formless information, she immediately went over. She didn't even eat breakfast. She flipped through the documents one by one. After reading all of them, there was no one. She looked again, but there was still no one. Are you sure they are all here? Lu Shuang asked. There are 276 people in total. Yes, they are all here. Shen Yin frowned slightly. 276 people. Are you sure the photos are of the person? Do your soldiers know how to PS? The PS photos don't look like the person. Lu Shuang decided to look again, but there was still no information of that person. I clearly saw that he was wearing formless clothes. Hello, everyone. I'm Qin Tang Tang. You can follow me on WeChat. Chapter 608. Clothes are easy to copy. Maybe he did it on purpose. Shen Yin reminded him. I don't think so. If he did, he could have just shown me his clothes. Why did he show me his face? But why is there no information about that person here? Lu Shuang covered his head and looked at Shen Yin in confusion. Shen Yin frowned when she saw him like this. Don't worry. I have just ordered that there will be a condolence in the morning. All the invisible people must show up. Follow me and see them one by one. If you don't see the one you saw, it might not be an invisible person. In fact, he also thought that it was an invisible person. That way, the motive would be reasonable, and only the people around him would know his whereabouts. They would only hurt Lu Shuang, not him. However, if it was not an invisible person, the problem would be serious. What was his purpose? Why? Lu Shuang sat on his seat like a defeated rooster. If it is not an invisible person, who could it be? I found out that it was a foreign mercenary last time. Don't worry. If it is an invisible person, even if you don't recognize him, I can still find him. Shen Yin said with certainty. I can only rely on you. I am not smart enough. Lu Shuang nodded his head. Eat breakfast first. It's getting cold. Besides, when you follow me to the condolence, don't show that you are here to look for someone. Can you do that? Shen Yin reminded him. Lu Shuang made an okay gesture. No problem. I will calmly slap them in the face. I will absolutely not reveal any flaws. She lowered her head and ate her breakfast. Shen Yan pushed his share to Lu Shuang. Eat more. What are you going to eat if you give me everything? Besides, I can't eat so much. Lu Shuang pushed his breakfast to her. Remember, when we are on the island, do whatever I ask you to do. Don't be more than 1 meter away from me. Do you understand? Shen Yan said seriously. Lu Shuang took a bite of the bun and nodded. You're the only person I know on the island. If I don't follow you, who else would I follow? Monkey? I'm not stupid. Are there monkeys on this island? Just don't run around blindly, Shen Yan said and lowered her head to eat breakfast. Lu Shuang peeled an egg and asked, Do you eat egg yolks? No, what's wrong? Then I'll throw it away. I won't eat it either, Lu Shuang said as he peeled the egg white and ate it. Shen Yan passed the egg on his plate to her. Here you go. You ate the egg white. You don't want it. Don't your cooks know that you don't eat eggs? Lu Shuang asked suspiciously. Shen Yan knocked her head with the egg. I eat eggs. Didn't I save them for you? Lu Shuang rubbed his head. Since he was absent-minded, he didn't want to argue with him. Thank you then. She took the egg from Shen Yan's hand, peeled the eggshell clean, and ate the egg white. Her mind was wandering. If it wasn't the invisible man, who could it be? Her head hurt just thinking about it. After breakfast, Shen Yan looked at her deeply. Lu Shuang touched his face. There was nothing there. What's wrong? Go to the room later. I'll send the clothes you want to change into, Shen Yan said in a low voice. What clothes? Lu Shuang was puzzled. Aren't all my clothes in the room? Clothes for combat, Shen Yan said. Combat? What kind of combat? Lu Shuang was confused. There's a drill in the afternoon. We're also in the middle of the drill. Follow me, Shen Yan said. Lu Shuang, I say, Shen Yan, are you crazy? I'm following you to find the person who killed my mother. I'm not your soldier. I don't need to participate in the drill. I don't rely on this to make a living. It's not necessary for me to participate. Lu Shuang opened his eyes wide. Then why do you think military training is necessary when the school starts? Shen Yan asked. Lu Shuang twitched the corner of his mouth and said carelessly, That's because they have nothing to do after eating their fill. Shen Yan knocked on his head. That's to train the students' willpower and ability to endure hardships. Lu Shuang scratched his hair with his fingers. It turns out that the military training is indeed very hard. Then, after the military training is over, I still do what I should do. What are you training me for? I won't encounter such situations in the future. I promise I won't go to the deep mountains and forests for the rest of my life. Shen Yan's face darkened. Many things won't happen even if you don't want them to happen. All the preparations are for possible accidents in the future. This is training, and it will only do you good. I will teach you a lot of survival skills. If there is another accident next time, you will be able to survive. If there's another accident next time, you'll know what to do. Lu Shuang, I want to protect you, but sometimes, I can't be by your side all the time. I don't want anything to happen to you. Lu Shuang thought of her mother's accident, and his eyes dimmed. Indeed, if she had known how to fight at that time, maybe her mother wouldn't have died. No one knew what would happen in the future. Since Shen Yan wanted her to participate, she would participate. It would be good to try and learn. She made an okay gesture. I got it. Let's give it a try. Remember, don't be more than 1 meter away from me. Shen Yan reminded him again. Lu Shuang nodded. It's not that easy to get rid of me. Don't worry. Shen Yan smiled slightly. I'm looking forward to being stuck to by you. Lu Shuang had a strange feeling in his heart. It seemed that she really hadn't stuck to him before. She returned to her room, and soon, someone brought her clothes. The clothes were all green, including the vest inside. Lu Shuang took off his clothes, and Shen Yan walked in. He was still wearing his suit. Why don't you change? Lu Shuang asked, puzzled. I'll change after lunch. Then why should I change now? Lu Shuang asked immediately. So that you don't have to change after lunch. Lu Shuang, it didn't sound like there was a problem. She continued to put on the clothes, one by one. There were many sets, but the material of the clothes was very good, and it didn't affect her movements at all. Shen Yan didn't leave, but stood by the side and looked at her. Lu Shuang put on all the clothes and looked at herself in the mirror. She pulled the hem of her clothes and praised herself. I look pretty cool. She even gestured a gun with her hand and smiled. Shen Yan looked at her seriously. No matter what happens, don't take off your clothes. I'm not stupid. It's so cold. Lu Shuang smiled and sat on the bed. She leaned back and shook her legs. She looked at him and asked, when are we leaving? Remember to protect your head now. Shen Yan reminded her, you're tuning into the LoveLore Library YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.